Uh, May 29th, special meeting for the Board of Trustees. This Town of Crestone Board Trustees meeting is held both in person and via Zoom. Time is 6:03:02. In order to complete the town's business in a timely manner, the following procedures will be followed for all town meetings, including those hosted on Zoom. All meeting participants must keep their microphones muted and their videos turned off, except during citizens' comments, and unless called on by the board or the Town of Crestone Trustees Procedures and Rules of Order 7.3, we allow 15 minutes total for citizens' comments. During those 15 minutes, speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak, after which they will be informed that their 3 minutes is up and the microphones will be muted. Before speaking, please state your name and address for the record. If you have comments that are longer than 3 minutes, or if the time for citizens' comments expired before you had a chance to speak, please send comments as correspondence to the town hall, and the board will respond to your letters. We will take citizens' comments for up to 15 minutes as per procedures. If multiple citizens have the same comments to make, please be brief. Should the time allotted for citizens' comments expire or you have a chance to speak, you may submit your comment to town hall and be included in correspondence to the board at the next regular meetings. First, we'll have a roll call.
Mayor Byers,
Here.
trustee Oglesby. Here. Trustee Kinney,
Here.
trustee Lakai. Here. Trustee Mendez Sanchez.
Here.
Trustee Martinez is absent without notice, and trustee Pazuzu is absent with notice. Also here is interim town clerk Ariel Blackwell.
Thank you. Next is approval of agenda. There a motion to approve, we'll change things during discussion.
We'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. So, we're gonna take, I think we're gonna take, E and move it to the attorney's 5E, move it to the attorney's report, in the June regular meeting, because it's being worked out. They're having something, they have it was a request and we want to know if the lawyer, if for some reason we can't give out the water schematic to the public, there's some reason for that, so we want to.
Can you say that again?
So there's a request for the water schematic and the town, and we want to ask the attorney if it's okay for sort of to give out our water schematic to the town, to a public citizen, and there's some reasons why you shouldn't do that. So we'll talk about it at the lawyer report of
Item E to the
let's
lawyer.
take it off, yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be, and then A is gonna be taken off as well. 6A, sorry. Transition of town books from
Good move.
QuickBooks, that is gonna be put on further down the road.
Okay.
I wanna add a new rescheduling for our work session that we had to cancel tonight, so that's gonna be put on as E. We also have something that was looked over by our attorney and we have approval, so we just need it approved by us. It's a contract for credit with our water material supplier, and it's for the CPCH project, and they need just approval to fill out that contract. It's a credit contract.
Or, so are you adding that?
So I'm gonna add that to F,
Just say F.
yep. And then lastly, we have an update on the apartment upstairs that we kind of need to move forward on before the June meeting, so we're gonna add that as G. So E, F, G, any other things? Okay, is there a motion, or there's oh, I'm gonna call vote. All in favor,
Should we make the motion as amended?
Yeah.
as amended? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have approval of minutes. This is gonna be. We have a big packet of minutes here. The other option with this is to, pick a couple of like the later minutes, or the ones, like maybe we could pick, we really need to get them, we need to get the ones approved that have the signatory, signatories changed, because that has to go to the bank. They require minutes. So, that one was on, I think was it the March meeting that we had the signatories?
It's in
We,
the order.
yeah, I think the last special meeting, maybe the April 25th one. Has that in it?
That one had ones that have already been voted on in like earlier minutes too.
Okay.
Double.
So can we go through month by month, start with the?
Okay, we can, sure, let's do
Yeah,
that.
I would like a motion to, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting on March 12th.
March 11.
Are we going backwards then? Or?
Are you?
February,
are you
February
thinking
12th.
February 12th is in?
February 12th.
Second, discussion.
Discussion.
I had a couple of corrections. On J. I don't believe Gretchen's position is Public Works Supervisor. I don't think we ever hired her as that.
Correct.
I don't know what her position title is, the
Shane's console.
sheriff staff.
Sam.
Sure, okay.
What was that, J thing?
Yeah, and then on 10A. I think it would be helpful to move that T over to that, advised that he had not been paid. And then on page 6C. I think that's the county attorney. And that's CROWELL, Crowell. That's all I have.
Yeah. Any more? Yes,
I know it's not citizen comments, but there is something in those minutes that I
I
want to have.
I would like you to please speak.
Okay.
Yeah, if you-
This is on R. Well,
What page?
on the.
Elaine, right, the tree removal.
Page 5.
That's 5.
That should state two things. Elaine Johnson is seeking approval of a well permit and approval from the board to remove the tree. To remove a tree that is on town property and to pay for it. But we agreed to remove it and pay for it, not to pay the company.
To remove it, the tree,
Yeah, I agree.
She just needed permission to remove a tree that was on town property.
right, okay,
But I didn't agree to pay for the removal of the town.
okay.
I'll change my motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
Second,
More discussion, all in favor?
I
Next one is March 11th.
have one.
Yeah.
On 6A. Trustee Byer advised that he started a special committee. I feel like that would be more like that the special committee was formed or something.
And I didn't advise it, I just,
trustee Byers stated that
Stated.
the special committee had been formed. I think that's all I had on that one. I make a motion, we approve the meetings of the minutes of the regular meeting from March 11th, 2024, as ended.
I'd second.
All in favor?
I was still working through these, so I can't totally.
And I worked a little bit on it with her, and I don't know if some of this stuff got. Streams. Do you have any more comments on some of our minutes, Elaine? Because I know you had.
I guess I have a question here. If we're looking at April 8th, and we appointed you as mayor, right?
Yeah.
And then under the mayor's report, did she have a mayor's report?
Oh, that was one of the things that, let's see, Mayor,
Says she also.
right, that was one of those things that had to be taken off the call. Catch on.
So we're
Cross
crossing
that
out
off.
A.
Yep. Unless actually, you know what? Take that back. I did report that. I'm sorry.
Ungenerated toilets.
It's the second line.
Second line, gotcha.
Stricken.
So the mayor reported that
I
this
did-
year's Dark Sky Festival will be on August
Right.
12th at 7 PM at the Charter
I
School.
did report that.
And that's it?
That's it.
So we're just.
I don't know where the incinerator toilet came from. And it also says she, so that was just.
That's
Okay.
Let me see.
And then did
There's another one. under-
Dana do on page 3B, when we appointed Dana, did they do an oath of office
We did.
Yeah.
And then going back to
immediately
10,
after we appointed them?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, April. April.
So maybe,
But yeah, cause I was part of the emergency tank repair conversation.
so then if trustee Kenny moved and appointed Dana to the open board, the board was in favor, Mayor Byer declared the motion carried. And then Dana took an oath of office.
oh, good catch on that. Yeah. On action items on 10, page 2, at the bottom, under A, it still says Mayor Danforth.
Okay, she's
Page 2 at the bottom, A,
Yeah. Mhm.
Should I add the oath of office after item?
B.
After B on page 3.
This is where the signers come in, so these are important for the. So one thing that you had said something about them being kind of confusing, the sign up that we,
Yes. It's in 311, 408, and 425, there's all.
for 25, I see the G was G. And we took Kim off, and which one was that, April? Was it
On 425, you directed the treasurer to open the accounts, I'm sorry.
and
On
on
311, you removed Scott and added Kim,
311?
and on 408, you removed Allison and Irina and added Irina.
But I'm just telling you, just so you can mark those, because those are the minutes after that we have to show.
And I didn't see adding aerials.
Yeah, where did we, add you as,
When did you start?
I started on the 11th. It
Oh.
could be in the January.
So, could it have been in no, it's,
I didn't know it was last month.
huh?
I believe it was at last month's meeting.
trustee planning, I see that one as a J. I don't see it. Does anybody else see it?
For Ariel.
Ariel,
No, I think
was it a special meeting?
What are you looking for?
We're looking for where we, approved Ariel to be a signer.
Yeah, that's on page 4,
Of which meeting, sorry,
of that same month where we're on.
for
on April 8th.
On page
Intern
4.
Thomas.
So that is on April 8th on page 4. The second paragraph down, but I moved and Kim seconded to appoint Deputy Clerk Ariel Blackford to the position of interim town clerk.
That's on,
Yeah, we're looking for when we gave Ariel access to be a signer for the.
signer for a bank accounts,
For what?
a bank account signer.
Oh, for the bank accounts, I know.
It doesn't look like it's on this one.
I don't think it's in. So,
Should we,
That might have been,
It's definitely in the 25th.
that might have been back
25th,
as the deputy.
I see you as a signer, for, and record keeper to administrate the UMB credit card account. And all other financial accounts. Oh, is that it? No, that's Kim.
Actually, it's on February 12th.
Is it? Oh,
Trustee Oglesby, thank you, because I didn't remember it being much earlier. And then it voted on again at April 25th on page 1, it says. Trustee Oglesby motion to make Mayor Byer, Mayor Pro Tempore, Adam Kane, interim town clerk to be new signatories on the town bank accounts.
Not in February,
In February as well, this
but
one,
Oglesby wasn't a trustee in.
this one, the one I'm read is from 25th,
Oh,
April
so which one is the first time you said that?
is February.
11. Okay, first, okay.
we just.
That bears me and add Ariel, I got it. It's on B, on, February. Sorry?
April is there, not February.
No, it's February, and it's at page 3.
We made the motion.
Trustee Martinez and trustee Lakai
Yeah.
to remove Scott, Southwest Bank, and add Ariel and Kim as signatories on the account. So you're gonna need that one as well.
so with that, we're still on April 8th to approve.
Correct, correct.
I make a motion, we approve the meeting, the minutes for the regular meeting of April 8th.
Second? Anybody
Say April 8th.
April 8th. April 8th, the regular meeting.
Did we make any changes to those? I don't think so.
Yeah, we did. We made a couple, we
Oh,
made,
as amended.
is there a second?
Second,
Isn't? Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next is April 15th, Monday, special meeting. One thing, on clerk's report was that, it was more efficient to actually buy a steam cleaner, with the money that we approved, so she ended up getting a good deal in buying a steam cleaner for the town, rather than renting.
One, I'm not listed in the roll call for these minutes.
Got that? Okay.
And I would like to say on that. April 15th meeting, item G. It had the title of reestablish the tree board, but the tree board was never established. So,
Change that to
that really needs,
report from tree board.
you know. Just the board discussed having the tree board to work on mitigation around the time.
It wouldn't be
Or
report.
whatever, but it was, we were never defunct, we kept meeting, so.
I guess in the spirit of Gretchen not being public works supervisor, then under L on page 4. The wording says public works supervisor.
Discuss with the public works staff.
So
And, under dark sky committee, I think it's August 12th, not August 10th. On P, page 4. August, no, it is August 10th. Sorry. So it's wrong on, the other. The April 7th, April 8th meeting, it's wrong, it has to be the 10th.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of this special meeting from April 15th, 2024, as amended.
Is there a second?
a second.
More discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. So again, we are motion to be signatories, so this is another one.
Officially official.
Officially.
So there's a couple of times where you refer to yourself as intern town clerk. Are you intern right now?
That was what it was.
Okay, so on this one motion. The third motion under A. It just says town clerk and also in the second. Motion. See those?
Like to entertain a motion to approve this agenda or this minutes from April 25th.
As amended, so moved.
For a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Earlier you eliminated the April 25th. Minutes from this meeting.
No, we didn't. We
You
didn't.
said because it contained the mapping information.
The water schematic, we just removed discussion of policy regarding the water schematic. Is that what you're referring to?
Right, it was on the April 25th meeting.
No,
All we did was remove item E from the agenda, as far as I can recall.
here, discussion of policy regarding water and sewer schematic.
My misunderstanding, I am sorry.
Okay. You want to give some citizens' comments?
Yes, I did.
Please, thank you.
Like you share. Lawrence Stephen. In fairness to the new members of the board, I'd like to make them aware that the town has been in violation of, many budgetary issues, including malfeasance, for more than 4 years. And we currently are extending that situation under your reign, and you should start considering that as part of your actions. There have been no financial statements since August of last year that are reliable. There's many financial entries that don't meet any accounting regularities. There are rents that have gone unpaid and the board has done nothing about it. There have been budgets, deposits paid out in excess of what was collected. And I believe you have other issues that you're aware of that need to be addressed concerning the finances and the operation of the town. Along with on the March 11th minutes, there's note that Mr. Stevens said that he had not received responses to Cora requests. I believe Cora requests have their own legal responsibilities. And I find it amazing that your attorney, after being notified, well, he hasn't gotten minutes probably, so he probably doesn't know, that there have been 5 violations of the sunshine laws, and nobody seems to care. Thank you.
Elaine, would you like to give comment, some citizens' comments? Elaine, would you like to give citizens' comments?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is Planning Commission open seat. I don't know if we'll have anybody, but we have open seats for the Planning Commission. We have 1 open regular seat, and then we have 2 alternate seats. So we don't have anybody yet, but I'm hoping that we can start asking people.
So have we put out a notice or advertised for those positions?
No, so let's do that.
Yes.
No,
Who is on?
right now,
I am.
yep, it's Dana,
Jeannie.
Jenny is the chair, and Sean, and.
What's the name?
So who is the Guinness?
Jenny.
How you say it?
Just Guinness?
Maskinnis.
So you have Ginny and who else?
Jenny,
Sean.
Sean, me, and Dana. And there's supposed to be 5. We do have a quorum, but we don't have we would like to have one more, and then we have usually two alternate seats. And I don't know if the board can,
You know, you had alternates on the one.
yeah, just in case we don't have a quorum. So let's figure out a way to advertise for that. Next is Board of Adjustments. More seats needed.
Who do we currently have on
Currently, we're in violation of the code because there's two board members on that, so that's why I put this on here. Both Kim Martinez and Dennis Pasulzi, or trustee Pasulzi and trustee Martinez are on that board, as well as Andy Pace.
there? Okay,
Are there not supposed to be, should there only be one board member on?
There should only be one.
so
And
that's
I
probably,
apologize, Elaine, Johnson, you're also on the board of adjustment. As far as I can see.
You retired from that?
I think she stopped being on
Okay.
Would you like to be on it again?
So then the people on that board, sorry?
Andy Pace, trustee Pazuzi, and trustee Martinez.
So the reason why this has come up is because we sent Sean Homer's application for a variance to his setback infringement to the Board of Adjustment, and we don't have a Board of Adjustment right now that's functional. He's probably gonna not do that variance because he doesn't wanna wait, he doesn't wanna spend the $200 it costs to get on that. But even so, we have to figure out this Board of Adjustment.
so we need to see whether Kim or Dennis wants to come on, which one wants to come on.
Correct, and then we also have to find new members, so I would also, with the advertising. Advertise for that as well,
What's the minimum requirement for
five,
the Board of Adjustments?
5 people.
And how many trustees can be?
One.
One. And we don't have one in that one, right?
we have two.
We
Oh,
need
yeah.
3 more people, and none of them can be on this board.
No.
Okay,
You probably need 4 more based on Andy, so.
And they don't need to be town residents?
okay.
Not necessarily,
Don't believe so.
Yeah, Elaine was.
Because Elaine had been on before.
it's a really kind of important to have that, because it's a quasi judicial board, meaning that it has, they make.
So then it would be valuable to put that in the advertisement?
Yeah.
That's not required for
Correct.
the adjustment board, but it is for the planning commission, I think.
Yes, I looked it up, yes.
So you just have to be anyone for the county, pretty much? Yeah.
I think so, yeah, I mean, right, I mean, does anybody know if it has to be,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that. It doesn't have to be residents, but
And where the job of this board so far?
what is the job?
Yeah.
It's a variance committee, so basically when somebody wants to build in the setbacks, they are ones that are able to
Okay.
create variance. I
So,
don't know if there's other jobs as well, there might be other uses for the Board of Adjustment, but it's a big one.
Okay.
And you have to do it at a public meeting, a public hearing.
Yeah, and somebody needs to be familiar with the building regulations and rules for town.
which hopefully, Kim or Dennis, whichever one stays on it, would kind of hold that down a bit. Like from a familiarity with that. But I guess we need to advertise for people to get on that board as well.
Yes.
And then we might all wanna talk to people, and I would rattle off Scott, Don, Anita, Lily,
Lily was on it before,
she was.
I don't know if she wants to do it again, but she was on it.
Can you think of anyone else?
Scott, down.
Probably have one so far, I can speak of it.
People will do it, you just put it out there.
Okay,
It's good to have a lawyer on the Board of Adjustment. It's real handy, just because.
and usually the lawyer, well, we've had the lawyer show up to a lot of those meetings, cause
Lori and I were on it together for a long time.
you don't wanna do it anymore.
Mhm.
I wrote a very dramatic letter when I resigned, because I was pretty unhappy with the town.
No. Okay, advertise for project manager. This is something I put on there. So we have this grant. It has a project manager that we need to advertise for. It's over. So basically Allison is the reporting person. You need a manager that's in between the reporting person and the crew that works on stuff. And they're basically reporting to Allison and Allison reports to the grant. So it's kind of it's a very important job. Because it's like the Firewise Committee would also be involved and we'd be talking about this grant and what we would, like what we've already put in for this grant, which is like a bunch of, streets and private land and various things that we've gotten approval for. So this project manager would be kind of a hand, like on the ground, seeing.
So it's a position different than what Allison was hired for.
Right. It's something that we have to advertise for. We don't have to go for bid. And I know Warren's gonna say, cause it is $20,000 over a period of 3 years,
Paid from the grant.
paid from the grant, although we pay 5%, 5.26% of it.
So there's $20,000 allotted for this manager over the course
Correct.
of 3 years.
Correct.
How many hours a month is that?
Well, basically, it's split off into like the times that we're working, so we have a timeline that Allison actually created that lays out the amount of time that people can be working and,
Right, but
It's-
in simplistic terms, if we're advertising for the position.
right,
we
it's
need
not really an hourly job, it's more like
Project based,
project based.
Okay,
so is that how you would advertise it?
yeah,
It would fill the timeline and what's
And do
required.
they need to have experience with mitigation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that would be more project management, but yeah, mitigation would be really good experience to have. Somebody like Daniel Johnson would be really good,
Mhm.
but he has to.
So you have the job description information to give to RL.
Allison, so what basically we're directing Allison to do it, but it has to go through the town because it's a town position, reimbursement.
So what, 5% of 20,000?
But it could be in volunteer hours, like I said, and so if, how would I, so say Allison works with this person, they would have to put in some volunteer hours as well.
So if we're looking at hiring a crew, I mean, it's probably several, but Daniel Johnson has his crew and there's Brindle Fire Department, they have their crew or different crews. Would that crew chief be eligible to
Yeah.
be the project manager?
Yes, but we have to do a project manager prior to hiring a
Gotcha.
crew. So basically you have like the reporting agent who is Allison. You have the project manager who basically again is in between and also has to kind of review the timeline prior to hiring a crew. Then we would go out to bid for this crew and it could be in sections. So
So it could be somebody who's the head of a crew that we're gonna hire.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, they would have to apply for this separately as project manager.
or it could be somebody separate from that group, okay?
Yeah. Ideally you have somebody who, like Adam was saying, is familiar with mitigation. And how to move people through sections, because I think our mitigation is gonna be quite different than the mitigation in the Vaca. It's gonna be,
Does the grant require that this person is bonded or insured? Or does the grant provide a contract for this person?
I'm not sure about
I
that.
don't think so, because Fiji is going to do the office part, he's not going to be physically working.
No,
but-
they'll be physically out there.
Yeah, but not with
Yeah.
the chance of
Right.
networking.
So it's more-
But
and you would be good at that?
I mean, I'm fine with making a motion to advertise for the position.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's not
And
hard.
then, but before anybody gets hired, I would
Yes,
wanna look at requirements and contracts.
right, we just need to get this,
Okay, well, I make a motion to advertise by the project manager for fire mitigation grant based on the guidelines provided by Allison McClure or.
I'll
Yep.
second.
What was that one?
more discussion.
I made a motion that we advertise for the position for project manager for fire mitigation grant based on the guidelines provided by Allison McClure.
I will second that one.
It's already seconded.
Okay,
Discussion,
No.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is, the bridge and extension report, inspection report. I don't know if you guys, do we have that in your mind? You didn't.
I haven't seen.
I saw it with you, but did you?
The bridging section?
Yeah,
You asked me to take that off.
oh, okay. So we're gonna put this on next agenda, but I just wanna, I'll actually just speak to it real quick. So we had a report and.
Done by,
Well, we're gonna have it in our next binders. But I just wanted to say that there was, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but there was, basically some. Violations, but they were laid out in such a way that you could actually fix each section of the bridge in a timely manner. So it was like, by 2024, we were required to have the sheathing or the top section done. And then it goes all the way till 2028, little sections, so it's something that we wanna look at in the next board meeting, and I'd like it to be in our binder, and I'd like the trustees to really look at it and see if I'm mistaken. Because I thought we had to replace the whole bridge is what
The
I
whole
was-
grid of what?
the whole bridge, I thought we had to actually take that bridge and actually cut out
Bridge.
the bridge on Cottonwood. But what I'm seeing is different, so,
I was on the phone with, I don't know if this is applicable, but with Scott Johnson yesterday or the day before. And he was just referencing back to issues he had in engaging with our two administrators ago. And how they were requesting or suggesting $500,000 to replace the bridge. Just one bridge, I think, and anyway, Scott referenced yesterday that. He said if you gave him $500,000, he could fix both bridges in a week and have money left over. So being that he is, I think, a licensed engineer.
Yeah.
I think it's at least worth noting that and keeping that in mind for future conversations.
And I know that the board had discussed and the citizens had chimed into that the Cottonwood Bridge. It's not a 2-lane bridge. And there was some requests from the neighbors in that area that it not become a 2-lane bridge. So that's something that needs to be decided upon, just because of the size of the neighborhood and the, you know. It's such a short distance of a crossing that having what it is now is basically like 1.5 lines, so it allows. For both a vehicle and pedestrian or bike to be able to cross, say, at the same time. But I know Wendy had talked about it and others about keeping that. Just, you know, the historic scale that we've had and not go with this great big.
if you look at this report, it says that the top layer. Is really all that's required to be, replaced by this year.
Mhm.
Everything else is kind of like, so I just want you to look at it and see if I'm
Alright,
correct about it, but I mean,
I don't think I have it.
no, you won't have it till the next meeting.
So I'm not going to be at the June meeting.
Can you be on Zoom or?
I'll be out of town on the June regular meeting. I'm having a birthday and my daughter's having a birthday and we're having a whole birthday get together, and so I'm gonna be gone. But I would say that when you put back on the discussion regarding the water sewer schematic, the one that we have in our binder is what was put in to the grant. And then, what was it, last year and a half, the board looked at 3 possible options. and a possible, because we couldn't, what was presented was just sort of off the cuff, and it really wasn't a town decision, it was just when put that in the grant. But it wasn't based upon studies by Water and Sand or even the feasibility, and with the amount of money that had happened, we're not gonna be able to go as big as what is originally. And the board was then directed to look at these three possible options. The board had these three options, and it did make a decision on one of the options. However, you know, the board could revisit those three options and see if they want to stay with the option that was chosen, for various reasons.
You're talking, sorry, can you go back and you're talking about the options for the, which grant was this?
Sewer expansion.
Sewer expansion, yeah.
Thing.
So we're already going forward, with Warren's suggestion actually to try to get the grant to go up for Living Wisdom. I've connected some parts and, the thing about it is if, you know, I think we're gonna have to approve it as a board, but I'm getting the research done for it.
I'm just saying that the board did make a decision on which of the options that it was going with, and it was an official decision.
Oh,
So if that is going to change and be in another area, be in Living Wisdom, then the board needs to revisit
right.
it and change that decision.
Yeah, and so Randy is gonna be at our next meeting. I think she's gonna be at our June meeting, I'm almost sure. And we're gonna have to do an official action to shift, like you said, from one.
Yeah, so I'm not sure just when that was, maybe in the spring, but sometime last year, we made that decision, I think it was more in spring or summer. But when we looked at the three different options, there was different drawings of possibilities in town and what the priorities were. And so that needs to be defended in case they need to change the vote.
Okay. So we took off A. Oh, wait, no, we gotta go to the new stuff. Need to reschedule the work session.
Does the attorney have to be, it sounds like the
Oh,
attorney
yeah.
has to be present, so. Maybe see what his availability is.
Let's try to find a date that at least we're available right now, just,
Are we trying to do this before the 10th?
ideally, we wanna get this done. So that he can talk to the lawyer and really get it approved. And we could do Monday the 3rd, anybody?
That would be my next available day. It's also my birthday, so y'all have to do something really special for me. And it can't last forever. But I would come in,
Well, maybe
if we, especially could do it.
So,
early.
I do sorry, meeting.
We have a planning commission meeting on the 3rd.
Just for time.
But
What time?
100%.
5 PM for planning commission.
The
So
third,
what would this meeting be for?
the makeup work session that just got canceled at 4.
Okay,
I mean, I could do it very early on Monday.
I could do it Monday.
And does Ariel have to be there?
Does she have to be kind of?
I will be here.
I mean, if we wanted to do it before your regular hours or after your regular hours. So seeing if it provided you any relief.
Or we could have it so that you're doing your own thing and we're,
Well, we have Sandra as an assistant who could handle
Susan,
phone and.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Allison told me she usually went to the work sessions, but she didn't take minutes or anything.
so what time on the 3rd?
Early would be better.
I mean, I would prefer 8, but that's before Ariel gets here, so if it had to be 9.
No, we can still get in here.
I would go 8 so I can get to work.
We just need help with,
Are we gonna need our attorney?
yes.
So,
So we should tentatively plan for
8 or 9. on Monday.
third, yeah, 8 o'clock.
Or
on the
9, if
third.
that's
How
what.
about 8:30?
somewhere between 8 and 9 on the third, and we'll need to get in touch with Seth to confirm that he's available.
Okay. What time? 8 or 9?
Yeah.
8:30? 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what time are we saying?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 or 9, depending on Seth, if he's even available that morning.
Okay, why don't we just put it in at 8:30 and then see if he's available?
Okay,
Sounds good.
And
and then maybe either,
Are you really squeezed for time with that, Jane?
I'm squeezed for time like
every day.
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh.
But either Thursday or Friday also, either in the morning or at 4 P.M.
I can do it Friday.
I can't do
I,
Thursdays.
Okay, then let's try for Monday.
yeah, I can't do Thursday. I have to work out of town from the 4th to the 9th.
Okay,
I'm coming back for the meeting on the 10th.
let's try the 3rd then.
So are we thinking of this Friday, the 31st? We don't have.
No,
No, it's Monday.
Monday, June 3rd, which is
Saturday,
next
first,
week.
second, Sunday, Thursday.
It's next week, next Monday.
I expect a cake.
So we have for the meeting. after?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is
So
this okay? I can.
we're looking at the 3rd as our, Monday, the 3rd is our preferred date, okay,
In the morning.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Because then the only other day that I would have available would be Thursday, the 6th.
They're out.
Yeah.
Everybody's out?
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's either the 3rd or after the regular meeting.
Yep.
All right,
okay, and can anybody do the 4th, or is that not working for anybody?
Dana can.
I'll, and if. You know, if it ends up that we need Seth and it works better for Seth, but I won't be able
I
to.
could do Tuesday if Monday doesn't work.
I mean, it seems like it,
I could do,
Seems
if
good.
need be, I could do Tuesday morning. I have something in the afternoon, but I could do Tuesday morning if need be, from
I
Saturday.
could too.
Yeah.
Preferably Monday for me, because I usually
All right,
have other things. Okay,
Yeah, I really wanna be involved with this meeting, so.
I know. I
Um,
hope that Seth is available on Monday morning. If he wants to do 8 in the morning, we'll do it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, earlier.
And
is
make
better.
sure it's noticed.
me too.
I just emailed Seth.
Okay, perfect. Next is contract for water, credit for water, so. We're just gonna have to trust Brent and Seth on this, he looked at it, he basically said that. Everything was okay to, this isn't it. I don't have it.
Well, I don't wanna pass it if I haven't seen it. Unless Warren says it's okay.
No,
Or
I
did
think
you say that?
you're in major problems if it's a contract. What I heard
It's a-
was application for credit.
It is, it's an application for credit,
An
What is this?
application for credit is.
I don't know why,
different than a Contract.
it is different than.
What's the credit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how it goes, huh?
So you can.
Extend out like net
so you
15
don't
or
have-
net
So you
30.
get 30-day term.
Will you explain?
Okay, so. We had Brent, create a quote. Specifically for CPCH, this is, all of the parts that go on the extension and on the. What do you call it, for water and sewer. And all the parts that go in for like meters and basically the whole project.
So
All
this
the parts
is-
are gonna go through the town,
This is
however,
for like the extension and their taps and everything.
correct,
Okay,
and so. It was agreed that the town would buy it,
right,
but they would reimburse it. The only stuff they won't reimburse is the stuff that we've. Unfortunately, and we're switching this, but we've unfortunately have to pay for, which are the meter pits. That are basically in between the extension and the tap itself. So it's like this little section that town has to pay for,
okay,
but we will have money because they will be paying. Their tap fees as well. So this is a big quote that we need. To work with it's a specific company, that only deals in water supplies, plumbing company basically, on a big scale, and they require credit.
okay.
to do this kind of work so that when we order the stuff and they start pulling everything together, they actually,
This whole thing has to go out for bid. This is a parts list. If it's anything other than the parts list, that has to go out for bid. And I think
the
that's.
parts list,
What I was told, it's a parts list.
why would the parts list doesn't have to go out for bid?
No, but if you're gonna buy it from them, you have to put it out for bid and see that they're the low bidder.
Yeah.
This is where you're gonna run into lots and lots of problems.
So, and also, if you also mentioned a minute ago that this sewer extension might,
Might, but this is,
Play into
yeah,
that.
but it doesn't, right now it doesn't matter because we've already agreed to our agreement is that.
So where's the credit that this company wants to have the work, you need.
So
to
the
pay
credit
them?
is basically that they will supply the quote.
Yeah,
And then I guess, so you're saying that when we get the quote, we need to do that, go out for bid on
yeah.
before then.
They,
So is this?
Cause this is our normal
if they
company.
give you a quote, that quote is no good. If they give you a parts list of all of the parts that are needed to do that. The parts list is one thing, but that parts list then has to go out to bid to other people, all right? So that you get a legitimate quote.
Even if it's our normal supplier or like.
Yeah,
If, this thing, to me, is gonna be probably around $100,000 or more in parts, I'm
Mm.
guessing.
and I'm not sure what we're going back, because I remember the first time we talked about this one, we talked to Brent, it should be bidden, they should not, because he wanted to do that for the beginning, to talk to this company.
Right.
And I remember being there in the conversation on the meeting, they should be go for bid, because all the amounts of the money, so.
So, maybe I'm kind of confused about what we're talking about, but the town has had a long established where
Supplier,
we buy our parts from that goes way back to a relationship, when we don't, every time we need to buy supplies, we don't put it out to bid. We have, and this is something maybe talk to Andrew Martinez, if we have already gone through this process on who our supplier is for.
but you're saying because it's over a certain amount.
The only, yeah,
And then also our relationship with, you know, the living wisdom with this project. We had accepted that they would do the installation. Because they can do it better and cheaper and faster than we can.
and the case.
So, before we start looking at putting things out to bid, I'd like to run this past our attorney and see where we are, because we're in an agreement with Living Wisdom and with their being able to have them do the contracted work. And then the town also has its own established relationship on parts purchasing that it's used.
I don't know why all of a sudden we're creating a new,
This one is because the size of the project is not the normal size that would is just one person to cook out. This is because the size of the working out there. And yeah, the Living Wisdom wants to be in charge of the labor because the insurance and the amount of money they put it on it, so that's why we agreed to that one. But we talked for the beginning with Brent, that should we go for bid it? And I don't know why he wanna just do it with this company. I think it should be open.
So from what I understand, we have to put things out for a bid when they're over a certain, is it $5,000?
Yeah.
So when it's over $5,000, and that's whether it's labor or materials,
Mhm.
we have to put it out for a bid.
And to be fair, if you're hiring professional services, you don't need to do that. If you're buying contract stuff, you do.
So but we have the parts list put together.
No.
That Brent worked with this, did he work
We
with?
do have
the
a parts
company?
list.
We've got the parts list,
we have a
so
parts list.
now we just,
So are we talking about lines that are going in on town property outside of the living?
Both.
Both.
Mhm.
So what's on Living Wisdom is coming under their purview, but we're talking about what might run within our own town.
I think it's our policy that we purchase all the parts.
Mhm.
yeah,
no matter where they go.
Okay,
and they're gonna reimburse us.
Yes,
So we need to either put it out, get it put out for a bid, or figure out if that's what we have to do, which it
Yeah.
does sound like that's what we have to do.
exactly.
so this is
I
for,
agree.
Mhm.
I'm just saying for what's on the Living Wisdom property, they already have their own contracting from the people, so we're just talking about what's happening on the town's property?
No,
We're
we're
just
just
talking
talking
about
about
the parts,
Parts.
yeah,
Yes,
so not any of the labor, just the
So-
parts.
Okay, so what's happening on Living Wisdom is their contractor handling the cost of the parts?
Mhm.
No.
They're gonna handle, they're gonna
They're handling
reimburse us.
installation, but
Mhm.
instead,
Yes.
but instead the town is purchasing the parts. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And then getting paid back.
right, okay,
Mhm.
I got you.
So
Yeah.
what is the process for us to put out a bid, like who? Who has to handle that?
I would personally be asking Brent to contact
I would too.
three different supplies
With.
and
his
with the parts list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He doesn't contact him, he,
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't choose who you're getting it from.
Just
Okay,
advertise?
out there, and yeah, and you watch
Like
it
in the
in the paper,
paper?
have them all the time. And they just solicit as an RFP, what did it?
and how long does it have to be out for bid for?
Right, it's specified in the state.
In the bid
thing,
itself.
Probably in your regulations, so, but just to give you an idea. According to your engineers, the one manhole that they're showing on there, and I suspect there's more than one.
You talking about this one?
That green circle,
Right.
that green circle is $20,000. Just by itself.
And
Okay.
parts,
That's 20 grand. For that, according to the baseline engineering. Right? So you've got water lines and sewer lines of approximately, 460 feet, I think. That are going in. According to the engineer, that whole thing installed is $900 a foot, not counting the water, just the sewer.
$900 a foot,
that's
Nine.
labor, that's labor.
okay,
Parts
With
and
labor,
labor,
with-
for just the sewer,
a lot.
okay? So you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars involved in that
Yeah.
little thing. It has to go out to bid, it has to be advertised, I would suggest you advertise it on whatever the state site is.
Are you referring to, you're just talking about the parts, because they're responsible
They're
for,
gonna install it. But I'm just saying that
for the parts. We
for the
need to
sake
go,
of argument, the labor's 2.5 times the parts. So you could work it back and what's that, basically a third,
It's gonna be more.
it's gonna be more than 100 grand.
And
Let's put it
Barrett
that way.
might have provisions in the contract for Living Wisdom. Where you, because they're paying for it, so they're gonna want you to get the best price, so you've
Yeah.
gotta take all of your due diligence and reasonable steps to make sure that you're getting
And one thing that,
good products
So
and good.
maybe we need
Yes.
to direct Brent,
If it's advertised, it's already,
okay.
but I still want Brent to know, because he's.
Well,
I was gonna say we direct him to do some research into where it should be advertised.
because we talked about that one before we, Dennis, and he knows better. That everything had to work for bid, and I don't know why he's trying to do this shortcut, but I suggest that.
so we would probably. Either make a motion or at least agree to direct Brent to provide Ariel with the information necessary to advertise
Yeah,
Yeah,
in our regular places of advertising,
I will second that one.
To solicit bids.
to solicit bids
For parts.
for the parks. So,
So let's, read this one back.
do you want me to say it again?
Motion for Brent to provide information to myself, to solicit bids for parts.
Right,
Let's, yeah.
according to our purchasing policy
Mhm.
Procurement.
And I
or
would say-
procurement.
So I have Brent calling me right now, so we can, no,
I mean,
Is the,
we're not gonna do, okay.
I just want him to know that he's not gonna get, like, he's not gonna be able to do this tomorrow.
Part of that.
what is it?
And I would second that motion. And I know that there's some of the big companies here, like you're looking. People like DSL or different people who do this sort of large work. I'm sure. You know, a contact there saying who's your supplier, and you can always send that bit information. You know, the companies that have worked for the town before, or some of the other larger ones that would do the kind of work we're talking about.
But we're just talking parts and we're just gonna solicit.
Right, but I'm
bids.
just saying to say, they can say, you know, you might wanna, as far
Yeah.
as who to send. A request for a bid to,
Okay,
I'm happy we brought that
So
up.
there was a motion and a second, right?
correct.
Correct, is there more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is Department of Chairs update, so Dana and Ariel have been working hard on this, Dana actually painted.
I did, I painted it.
Painted the place. But there's a lot of other items that have to be done up there.
Yeah, dude, that wasn't in your oath.
No, but you did volunteer, I remember.
I'm doing the Lord's work.
They volunteered.
So. We went up there, looked at it, and. It looks better, and these guys have said that compared to the way that it was, compared to the way that it was, it is. How many times better, maybe like?
It was
3 times?
scary.
Yeah, yeah, Charles and I got a bunch of the extra furniture out and we painted it and you brought up Ariel's got the steam cleaner, so. But it's got a broken window, which,
Or on this side right here.
and so that's something that probably we can. Either we need to replace it or we need to cover it in some fashion before it's shown.
There's also an area where this fridge is kind of shoved into a mechanical room. Because it doesn't fit in the spot where it's supposed to go, so it was like somebody bought a fridge, brought it up there, stuck it in the mechanical room. So she actually climbed through this little space to see what was back there. It kind of needs to have a new fridge put into the proper space, and then that mechanical room needs a
Yeah,
lock on the attic, and it needs.
Yeah, it's a problem because the breakers back there and the hot water heater.
Yeah.
To get to it, you do have to climb between the space like this big, between the fridge
And there's no
and
way you could
the
go.
ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
it would be problematic if something happened to the hot water heater.
Yeah,
You would need a small, like a person who could fit in that hole.
The other thing is it's pretty dangerous for children because the windows are right up against the ground and there's just screens on them and they're just basically in a place where anybody up to about 12.
you talk about the broken window,
No, I'm talking about all the windows on this side and I think on this side too.
what about?
They're similar to these windows here, but they're facing the street, so if someone was to fall out of the window, they would just fall right here.
I do,
They would fall on the roof first.
Yeah.
yeah, then they would kind of roll.
So we don't have problems.
I do think that like, even if there's not children in there, somebody did point out to me that that's like not really legal and maybe it means like a block there. It's like, you know, we could put like
Put a shelf there.
shelf there, bars or something, to block those screens.
So what we're suggesting is that if there's a couple options, one is that we lower the rent, keep it the way it is, except, I mean, maybe the fridge needs to be replaced, but we lower the rent to like 1,200 instead of 1,600. And then we get somebody in there and basically have somebody, you know, fix it. It's not like it's uncomfortable, it actually could be okay.
My friend from high school is trying to move here in 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if he's contacted you, but 1,500 was too expensive.
Mhm.
And he's, you know, my age and single,
Cool.
no kids, so not that he should get special treatment, but he sounds like a viable candidate to not make big changes
Yeah.
and put somebody in.
Somebody who could be in there, so that's one option, and then we have like a year lease and deal with like all the repairs at another time, but
Do you know if is he a handy sort?
Don't do it.
Yeah, no.
Don't do it?
It's not.
No,
Okay.
He's
for
an
trade,
artist.
for trade.
Oh.
yeah, no, folks. I did it in my house, and yeah.
But he's probably somebody who would be okay with, or maybe I'll rephrase that and say, it might be cool to have somebody in there who would be okay with us coming in and doing some work progressively.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, where it stands right now, especially once the carpets get cleaned and it gets the dusting, it's like, it's a perfectly livable space. It's, I mean, I've lived in far worse, but. I think
But it's
that's
not worth
the-
1,600.
Yeah, I
As-
think 1,600 is a bit, is too much for what it.
Awesome.
where
So we
it's-
made a motion to do it at 1,600, so we really need to make a motion to change that. To 1,200, and then when she already advertised it, so when people call you. You're just gonna have to,
And so I would make a motion that we lower the rent to 1,200 and do not currently allow children under 12.
I don't think
We can't do that?
but
You can choose out of all your potential
Okay.
applicants,
Then I make a
people who
motion.
don't have children, but what you can't do is.
we limit it on
is
this.
say you can't have older
They can-
children.
That's what I was gonna just advise.
They
people
could
that
sign
have-
a waiver when they rent it, no?
Or-
I make a motion, we lower the rent to 1,200.
Second,
I don't know, I told you it's good.
Any more discussion? Do we wanna do any changes on the, should we
Uh,
buy a new fridge?
I have a question
I
about
would
that.
better leave that as a second.
About another fridge about the apartment. I know that there is a space for the person who rent a parking space for them, it's just,
I think originally
it's still the same or?
I think originally we saved that space for the
Are we
tenants.
still doing it?
it has a sign, it's got a sign that says
Tenant
parking for tenant only.
I mean, there's nothing we can do to enforce it, but we can definitely have it.
Because I saw sometimes I saw the problem, there's some bar in park and they couldn't use it, but use them, but.
Motion on the table.
Motion on the table, all in favor?
I,
Next motion for possibly doing a little more repairs or? We really need to figure this bridge thing out.
I mean,
we just can put it out, no?
There's not, the problem is that there's no space for it in the kitchen where
Can
it
we
will
not
fit.
provide a fridge and they can bring their own?
Walmart has $250 fridges that are nice and tall.
Yeah,
The main thing is that you just have to measure the space where it's
It's
supposed to go.
small.
I have a mini bar,
But it's like, it's a nice fridge that, you could look, there's plenty of room, it's bigger than a little dormant
Okay.
fridge.
Right, that's, yeah.
But it's way smaller.
I've got one of those and yeah, it would be, fine
So do we need a motion for a $300 fridge?
to, yeah, either that or to do research before we throw the money at it, but I think.
Every time it's done, we do it.
Say it, Warren. Yes,
So.
just
I'm
buy
gonna
it,
have to leave at 7:30, so
okay. Alright,
Then,
so just make a motion to buy it.
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of up to $400 for a fridge that will actually fit. I mean, what if it's $320?
Up to,
And I suggest you, make sure you fill out the tax-free form.
I don't know, okay.
we do need to do that.
It's a 10% discount.
I don't know if it's done the motion, but I will absolutely do that, and I'm working on selling some of the furniture upstairs, so ideally. Maybe some of that money can be.
I'd also like to add-
instead of New money,
Thank you for that.
what'd you say?
Over.
Yeah, I wanna sell that too.
Yeah.
yeah, here's a Walmart fridge
They were,
that would work and it's
$270.
$228.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second,
And then, one other thing is fixing that
what,
attic because,
motion on?
oh, I know, I'm just saying we can add this because this is part of the fridge thing. When
Okay.
that one gets removed, we need to secure that room. Somehow, make sure that people can't get into the attic. And there is a door on it, actually, the
I
slide.
would leave that up to Public Works to put a piece of plywood screwed on, right?
We don't have to put those in.
All screw and supply wood.
We're gonna talk about that.
There he is.
Can we, call the vote on the motion?
Am I adding the part about securing?
No, let's just do that another, we'll just do it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna go back quickly to Brent's, water, or not, what is it? Contract for, or not contract, credit application. So here's what's going on. If we're above $5,000 on anything, our procurement policy states that we need to, go out for bid on these parts. And if we don't do it, we could get in big trouble.
Number one, I need to see that in writing.
Okay, that's fine, we have that.
I need that, no, I need to see that in writing, whoever's responsibility that is, that's number one. Number two. You guys called me in from home. Okay,
We didn't-
I did it because you have a deadline tomorrow.
We
oh,
didn't.
well, I'm just saying, you called me in from home.
We didn't call you, we called you.
I called you.
I'm here at the request of the board and the mayor, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and explain myself. Number one. The application is for a credit application, okay? Number two. Nobody's buying anything. I haven't even seen the parts list yet, okay? I get the parts list tomorrow, okay? I understand what you're saying, that's not happening. Nobody's ever said that we're not going out for bids. In fact, I explained to Warren. If he brought this up, I already explained to Warren that that's not the case, okay? I am simply getting bids, this is my first initial bid, we might have to make. You can't do it that way. You're doing it illegally, okay? And I'm telling you, for your own benefit.
Wait.
Oh, okay, no, stop right here. You're saying I'm doing something illegal? Then let's get Brett Collier in here and he can help us out. He's the ORC and he is the legal entity. I'm not doing
Hang on,
anything.
Brent,
I'm not doing anything
Brent.
illegal and you're not gonna do what you do to everybody.
Come
else.
on, hey, Brent,
Okay?
Brett.
It's not gonna happen.
Brent,
I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing.
Brent.
I'm doing
Stop.
everything I'm supposed to be doing in accordance. He's full of crap. I'm sorry.
We need to look at our procurement policy and make sure 100% that we're doing it correctly. It's a lot of
I'm
money.
not gonna sit here and. have
It's a lot of money,
somebody tell me
forget it.
I'm doing
All he's saying is
something
you
illegal.
can't go to a company and ask them for a quote. You have to go, take the parts list and go out for bid to at least 3 companies.
And what I'm saying is that has not happened yet. This is the initial bid. You can't do it.
Let me clarify.
I don't understand.
This is just an initial parts list. I've asked this. Okay, well then, okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's not a bid, it's a parts list. Okay, that's fine. You get all the parts lists you want. Well, thank you. Then let me just do this. Okay.
Get the parts list, get the parts list, I have.
Wait.
The problem
I
is,
just have a question, Brent.
And that's what that's what I'm doing.
I have a
That's what I'm
question.
doing, and it doesn't seem to, there seems to be a misunderstanding.
Can I ask a question? So the words I've been told are application for credit. Please nobody interrupt. Can you tell me what an application for credit is?
If we want to buy parts from this company, and we have bought parts from this
Oh,
company in the past, but I think since it's such a large order. That they're asking, he told me his initial interview or his initial meeting with me. When we talked about it, he said they're gonna want you to fill out an app or something this big, and I said, okay.
And you need,
So I've been dealing with this guy he's been helping out on a parts list, okay? I've already spoken to Dennis about this. Dennis knows, he knows that we're gonna go out for bids on this. He already knows when he gets back, we will do all these things.
so the problem that I have is that the parts list is separate from the quote or buying from a specific company. So,
You're asking for clarification.
wait, I was still trying to get clarification. So an application for credit is from the supplier, has nothing to do with Living Wisdom, correct?
It's so that if we decide to use Windwater as our bidder, then we have a line of credit.
So are you asking for the board to approve an application of credit
Yeah, so we can
Okay,
give it to the
so
treasurer to fill out.
I don't see why we can't have an application of credit with 10 different
Well,
suppliers.
this is gonna happen at least 2 more times.
Okay,
This is just the
right,
first
right,
time.
right.
Yeah.
So is there any reason, even Elaine, I'm only asking Elaine now, that we can't have an application of credit with 10 different suppliers?
There's no reason you can't apply for credit.
Okay,
What you can't do is
Is-
that next step.
right, but we can ask. We can then advertise and that person will be informed that we're advertising, and they can provide a quote for parts list, correct? Okay, so I make a motion that we approve. Do you want to do this application?
This is, and the guy from Windwater, Big Steve Sloan, he totally understands that we
I
would be going out for bids
Do
on it.
you want to fill out this application?
No, I don't, I think this is the treasurer's responsibility.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve our staff to fill out an application for credit with, I would say, as many suppliers
Yeah,
as
there'll be,
needed.
there'll be 2 more, yeah.
Okay,
But you've already made a motion that you're going to get the parts list.
that's a separate,
Yeah, this is, yeah.
But the thing is, what I'm trying to see is, so. If we go out for credit applications with 2 more companies, say,
I would say as many as necessary, but go ahead, share 2 more.
don't you think that we should advertise the parts list first and then start doing credit applications?
Yeah, I would suggest that.
I think that can happen
I
simultaneously.
don't see why.
It's just there's a slight bit, and if we're gonna be following our procurement policy, there's a slight bit of preferential treatment towards this company.
Well, you also have a, can I help?
Yes, please.
You have a history with this company as well, so having a credit relationship with them is appropriate.
I mean, yeah, we bought stuff and we will continue. to
It
buy
wouldn't,
things.
it wouldn't look like, oh, we're giving them favoritism or something. This is an existing provider
And
vendor.
the other ones we bought from too, there'd be 2 other ones I can't recall the name at the moment.
So.
I think with all of this clarification.
Okay, so we have a second, sorry, we have a second, more discussion, sorry, now go.
Oh, no. I feel like with all of this clarification that it doesn't, then there's no reason to not go ahead and start that process and it,
Yeah,
and just
I
have it over with, so we don't have to talk about this again.
didn't understand what we were talking about earlier. So
Yeah.
Now I do, and I think it's a simple process, so my motion stands, there's a second.
All in favor?
I,
Nay?
All right,
Thank you, Brett, for coming and clarifying.
I appreciate it, yeah, I mean, these
I know you
were steps that you guys would have been, it would have been a fail to you as they came along, but, I mean, yeah, if I need to go.
So,
talk to about.
Yeah, I mean, you were on earlier and you saw that we had to end that meeting, and so I'm happy that you came.
I also wanna clarify that, I don't, as for me, I don't think that you were doing anything illegal or trying to do
Well,
anything.
somebody calls me in from dinner into here, it does come in immediately, well, I'm gonna.
Well,
respond
here's the thing is
in
you-
a way that-
You were the one that,
Urgent.
I
you
get
were
it,
the one
so
that told me to put this on the agenda because it is urgent, right?
We are. here
All
to-
I wanted to do is I want you guys to look at that credit app and want you to read it very carefully, because it says in there
We-
that we need to pay within 10 days. and-
We had the lawyer look at it and he,
Well, but he didn't mention anything about the terms.
We finished that parking, continue.
He mentioned a couple of things,
It's
but he didn't mention anything about the terms. And
10 days.
that's what it says, and I want you guys need to read this.
well, it's
I
just,
sent you- I
we're not
sent you-
buying from them. We're going out for
If you do,
bids, so
though,
we'll
if
see
you-
everything
But if
beforehand.
you want me to continue on with this credit app, then you guys need to approve the credit app.
It doesn't
I'm not
sound like
going-
it's a big deal even if the terms are messed up, if we take them as a company, then we have to abide by their terms. We're probably not gonna take that bid necessarily. We might do another bid.
If you
With some-
want the bid, you're stuck with 10 days, so it'd be better to do.
And yeah, and that's why I'm giving you, I'm giving
Billy
you
out.
guys a heads up that those terms seem pretty tight. And
So you wanted this done by tomorrow, correct? Is that
Well,
why?
I mean, you guys can do it whenever you need to do it, I just happen to be able to present it in a timely manner, and you guys can put it on the agenda. It all happened very quickly, I got the application today,
So
maybe yesterday, and then it was like, oh, well, I need to do that, so.
are you? I need clarification again, you're not necessarily asking for approval for the application to be submitted, are you asking for approval of the terms of the application?
I'm not. So,
The
I
second.
contacted the attorney earlier today. I told him to look over section 4 and section 5, which you guys make a mental note and go read it. And when you do look at it, he made 2 notes about it. One, that there needs to be a fire. And you have these emails, Mary.
I don't, but I've talked to, Ariel, you said that
So
you
I'll go ahead and reiterate.
have worked with this application, right?
We had notes about
This is-
certain sections of.
Yeah, can we continue our meeting?
Yes.
So,
We already had the motion
Yeah.
and passed it, so as we get applications. That could be part of our factor of decisions of who we're going to go with. And a lot of it will be the terms that the companies have.
Correct.
And companies have a right to set their own terms, and we have the right to say we don't like those terms or not.
Sure.
And so when we review the bid process, we can put out the credit applications, and then later we could make a decision whether or not those terms are workable for us. But we don't need to have this discussion
that's
right now. I
I
think
agree.
we're
Thank
moving
you.
forward.
Okay. Next,
Next, now on
old
training for
business.
the treasurer.
training for treasurer. B,
You got rid of A?
A was taken out.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad. You're welcome.
So what's the story with training for the
I
town
don't-
treasurer?
Yeah, it sounds like.
Ariel, is this something you're presenting?
Yes, well, I have training from Allison Ransom, former clerk, as well as Judy Egbert, who served as clerk for a number of years. Kim does not have training from the treasurer in the same regard. Requesting suggestions, recommendations, maybe someone putting her in touch with the treasurer from Swatch or any place nearby, just so that she can understand what the needs are of a municipal treasurer.
Is this her request or yours?
We've talked about it quite a bit.
I don't know if it's applicable, but I know. Maybe you could write down CGFOA. And I don't know I think that's Colorado Government Finance Officers, so I don't remember what it is. I know they would train. I think they would train trustees, so they might train treasurers.
That's important.
Yeah.
I think it's important for a treasurer to have the training that they need in order to efficiently and accurately, knowledgeably do their job. So I would like to know where we're looking for the training from. And what specifically she's kind of lacking in. And, if this lead from Adam is helpful, or was this additional training with Judy Egbert, or who was the training gonna be from?
That's what we're at, that's it.
Judy Egbert isn't.
Judy Egbert's training myself and Allison is training me, but she doesn't have a treasurer to talk to. She's getting help from financing and accounting from Elaine and from, financial specialist Virginia West, but there should be a treasurer involved as well.
So do we have anybody does she have anybody in mind, and what kind of money?
So that's what we're asking for.
So we should advertise that one too? Yeah, I guess so, because
Well, this came up at a previous meeting
Mhm.
and there were, I think, what Adam just mentioned was one suggestion, and then there were some other suggestions, and I'm just trying to find them, so that maybe we can revisit that. but we did talk about maybe contacting the treasurer from Sawatch. I think that would still be a good idea.
Yeah,
And seeing if they have either suggestions or time to help her.
yeah, and we can ask to the SRB Council of Governors meeting too, because I talked to them once about the online books stuff, but never got back to them. So we can check with them if that's some people who use of their perhaps.
I guess really another part of it is you appointing somebody to actually follow through with it. And if, do you think maybe Sarah could contact these people? Is that something that she would have the time and space for?
Possibly, I don't know, I've got her lurking on a lot of things. I
Okay.
could do, because between you would say that Sarah or I could do this.
Has Kim pursued anything?
No, she does not have enough time.
So we need someone to make some calls.
Did anybody bring up CML yet?
Randy brings it up all the time. For treasurer training,
What is it?
CML.
Colorado Municipal League, and Elaine brought it up as well. There's guidebooks for clerks, guidebooks for code enforcement, there might be a guidebook for treasurer.
Every minute.
Okay, so we've got CML. What did you say, Adam?
CGFOA, which is Colorado Government Finance Officers Association.
Can we put you on that, Dana? To,
I was about to volunteer for it.
huh?
Yeah.
You're volunteering for it?
I'll make some emails.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll just report back in June?
Yeah.
So are you saying that Kim doesn't have the time to be able to do the research on what's
Thank you.
available?
Yeah.
I believe in the future meeting, she's gonna ask for more time, because it seems that 20 hours is not enough.
Oh, she don't have hours on us, but she would have time to do it.
I mean,
I was doing it in the past and I couldn't find anything, so I appreciate
Okay,
these suggestions.
I'll send an email and maybe I'll BCC you to it, Ariel, so that as correspondence come in, then, or maybe you and Ken. And yeah, I'll send out some feelers to these folks and see if we can get any leads on where to go with it.
So let me just read you a text. I'm going back, I'm sorry. I have to read this. It's from Akia about this thing. She said, I said, I'm finding out we need to go out for bid for these parts. She said this was already done when the water system was initially installed. Dana Kemper was the vendor selected by the town board to provide all the parts for the water system. And they provided most of the parts for the sewer line extensions as well. Unless the board is dissatisfied with their service, there's no need to go through this process again. That decision is in the minutes back then. I just emailed you minutes where Dana Kemper was selected to provide parts for the town's water system. I'm just,
I don't care, you go read the regulations yourselves, it's in your book. No one here seems to wanna know how to read, go read the regulations. This thing has to go out for bid, if it doesn't,
Okay, well, I don't think insulting us is going to be helpful at all, because I don't think it is that we don't want to know.
well, it's been 2 years and the board has done nothing.
yes,
Mr. Mayor,
okay, thank you. So mark in the report or in the minutes. That doesn't like that, 7:35.
Yeah,
I just wanna say I appreciate Dana being willing to look into training for the town treasurer. I think that, you know, we clearly had communications from involved parties that they're sometimes lacking confidence in the treasurer. Adding hours is gonna be a problem, I think, and I think that our treasurer should be able to spend an hour a week looking into training possibilities. Personally.
I think, it's a good idea, it's right now to.
I'll just get it started,
Sure.
you know,
Have her start it, and then I would say that in the next, by the next meeting, we're gonna know for sure what's happening with Kim, because,
Okay,
yeah,
And
there's
just-
information coming out.
and I know we're working on our personnel handbook, but according to our old chart. Treasurer and clerk are next to each other. So administrator is above both. I don't know how we're playing it out now, I can't remember. But if clerk and treasurer are next to each other, then you're not responsible, I think, for our
Yeah.
treasurer.
I agree.
Okay, and I would say that to relieve you of pressure, if anything.
Sure.
Right. That makes us responsible for the treasurer.
Okay.
Right.
So. Thank you, Dan, for just volunteering to do that,
yeah,
and maybe other things too, you might look at other options. Next, we have C, Public Works Update, this one is really kind of right now. We're at the point right now where, our public works staff is not showing up to work at all, and refuses to show up. And we're.
Since when?
2 weeks,
This is the third week.
third
Oh.
week.
That seems pretty clear,
It does,
doesn't it?
doesn't it? So we're at the point where now we have to just make a decision what we wanna do.
I definitely would say in my business, and I'm sure you would at yours as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you would at yours as well, that if somebody didn't show up for even a week and
Yeah,
refused to show up, that's grounds for dismissal.
Correct.
yeah,
So if you need me to make a motion,
We do.
well, I make a motion that we implement the process for, what would be the right wording? I would ask you for the right wording.
Termination.
That we, begin the process of termination for our public works
Is there a second?
for Gretchen.
are we second?
More discussion, so we need to have, some good documentation prior to this, we need, time sheets caught up, so we're gonna need to make sure that. First of all, she, as soon as that happens, she has to be paid, within 24 hours. So there's some technicalities that have to happen, if she has leftover time sheets that haven't been paid.
Do we have a
Where-
second? Do we have a second?
Yes.
Where are you getting this?
So partially from, Elaine's advice, there's
Oh, okay.
this CRS section, but it's pretty,
That's a state statute?
it's state law, right? I mean, there's
The only new thing is that we need to give a reason,
a reason, right?
that explains it.
Oh, just could you share me
You can
that statute is?
Yes.
And I mean, my motion for termination is based on Gretchen not showing up
Yeah,
or refusing to show up. Whatever is happening.
So we need to also just make sure that, she doesn't claim, sick pay, vacation time and things like that as well, so we have to really be on our game when we let somebody go. You were saying that there was a lot of new laws, there's a lot of new laws that are implemented about this.
The only one is that you have to give, it used to be you could terminate someone.
At will.
And you didn't have to say a word. Now there is a requirement that you provide a reason.
But documentation is key to this documentation is key to this whole process.
And you don't have to document it, you just have to, well, you'll document it. They'll do with that, I think there's I gave you, but
Yeah.
basically you just, when someone doesn't come in without notice, and that's important that they haven't gotten permission to not be here.
Correct.
Have you talked to Seth?
We talked to Seth a while back, like a couple weeks ago before,
I mean, I would put it before him and have him lay out.
let's have a Brooke do it as far as, because we already have the motion seconded and we should, just have advise the clerk to the attorney and make sure that they,
Make sure we're not missing anything.
All you need is failure to show up
Okay,
at scheduled times without notice.
And do we have? I'm pretty sure that the clerk is not above public works. So this is gonna be up to us
that's right.
to communicate with Gretchen, which,
We can,
I think we should not have.
do you want that?
Ariel
Hold on.
be responsible for informing Gretchen. Well, we have a motion on the table.
Yes.
Then I think that's.
You can do it? Oh, okay. So, as I said, then I can do it. Any more discussion on this? All in favor? Aye.
And yes, I don't think we should ask Ariel to have that communication.
No.
I think probably the mayor should do it.
I'll do
All right.
Huzzah.
Was there anything else about that, or you?
No, just look at that list and make sure, you know, the payroll will be important, and I don't know when Kim will be here tomorrow. So she'll do an unscheduled payroll, you can tell her, and just for whatever time.
I'll work with you, tomorrow. It's not great, but. I mean, basically, it's from the point of termination, so when I tell them, then we have the 24 hours, is that what you guys would say? From the point that we,
Tell Gretchen
No, I will
that.
do it tomorrow, just to.
Yeah, just get it
When
done.
the 24 hours started, so. You should have her check ready by at 5.
Should we discuss what we're gonna do next, or do we wanna do that at the next meeting?
I don't think we're ready to advertise, because I think we need to look at our budget and see what's
I
happening.
agree.
I also think it would, yeah, be important taste to.
Should I pull the request for a public works
No.
assistant?
No, because we could still use, somebody for various small items, like clean, we talked about possibly using them for cleaning. You know, she's putting in 3 to 4 hours of cleaning time.
You are? Yeah, so let's just keep that.
Yeah.
Posted. And then, check in with either finance committee or at our next regular meeting before we decide to advertise.
Correct.
And did we form a public works committee? And so,
Yes, we did, and we're just waiting for Dennis to get back.
okay, and then that committee can kind of get together and get the details put together for an eventual hire.
And we wanna, possibly change the locks over at the Public Works,
Yeah, definitely.
so.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything, but I think it's a good thing to do. And when you guys got me, please talk to Brand too, because I don't think that this is a good way to somebody working for us to come and storm. Now that you guys have this board and you be responsible, right, to talk to the people who work for, or work for us.
The way that you. the way
Yeah,
that
what
you-
happens is,
I'm sorry, I actually texted him because I thought it was important.
Yeah,
Here's what I thought, and I'm gonna say this. I thought that he needed it by tomorrow. Because
But he's communicating regardless, that's.
Yeah.
Regardless,
appropriate
yeah.
for-
I think that's not the way to come up.
Although we're all used to it, but.
Yeah,
when
we
you
used
go-
to, now we're not, we used again.
I will, talk to him about
Or have Dennis talk to him.
it.
Because, well, they have a,
From Italy.
Winston is coming back.
He's coming back before the next meeting.
Right, yeah, and I think it's appropriate. Dennis has a good working relationship with Brent, there's a mutual respect, and I think you could ask Dennis to tell Brent that it's not appropriate.
Okay, well, he wasn't here, so
Right.
I'll do it. I've been with it.
I appreciate it,
Yeah.
thank you.
So now we just have the email from Lars.
Yes,
Lars
Right.
wants trash cans.
Yeah, by the park, and that's, actually, now that this come up, we supposedly not answer anything on Facebook, and Gretchen was doing it when somebody posts on Facebook about they're not having trash can at the park. She posted the reason why or that, and I'm not sure she should be allowed to do that. And put, and you know, and Facebook and places like that, but she did it at that time. So para, they talk about that if not, container was, I'm not sure, it's something small, but they want it back.
So there was a motion made in one of the April meetings, I can find the exact one where it said that you, the mayor and the mayor pro tempore were to have were to make the public comments, the official comments of the town, so
Correct.
maybe that should be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I took that to mean official statements in the paper, and I think that we. Through our ethics and etiquette training, we'll find out to what degree any of us can post on social media or not. And I don't know how that applies to staff versus the board.
Okay.
But I think you're well within your right to comment or reply to, to a comment on social media.
Okay,
Like you also might get yourself in trouble,
yeah. That's not one.
but official statements I took to mean the media.
So if I remember correctly, we did have a motion a long time ago to remove the garbage can. Because it was becoming a problem with, household trash, people were just using that as a place to go and fill it up, and we're always gonna have this
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
We actually need a solution for garbage overall, we gotta figure out the garbage solution, not so much that garbage can or any garbage can, it's.
Sure.
And one solution that we're working on, and I appreciate Brett for stepping up, is he's, subcontracting Eddie to do some of the work just for a small amount of time.
Who is?
Brent actually asked Eddie. And we don't have, we're not going out for bid because there's a very small amount, I don't
What
know,
did you ask Eddie to do?
to receive, to go out and get our garbage for us, and actually temporarily while
Which garbage?
the garbage from what I used to speak.
Do we have the ability as employees to just get subcontractors, because I would have gotten a subcontractor to do the custodial work a long time ago.
We did.
I'm just wondering, like, we as employees.
Okay, so maybe he went out, his bounds. I mean, we were having a garbage, problem where they were completely overflowing, and he felt like
yeah.
the solution was to hire, and how many hours did he hire him?
He didn't communicate any of it.
Yeah, that can't be it.
So I'll talk to him about that too.
But we can do that,
Yeah,
and bottom line is, we don't have a public works person, so if we put a trash can over there, nobody's gonna dump it. But maybe we can get Eddie to check it, once a week? Twice a week?
well, that's the thing is, we can do it, I guess we can create that contract,
That'd be awesome.
but, do we wanna put the garbage back over at the?
I think one trash can in each park is really, bottom tier requirements on our part.
Yeah, I guess,
And if we're not adding work to public works, but contracting with the guy who picks up trash,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
The only thing those is going to be a regular can, right, so anyone can chew the trash.
Yeah.
And that happened because I see people go to the bank
Mhm.
and put it in that container there too, and then trying to do it at the fire station too, you know.
no, it's
I
terrible,
mean, yeah,
terrible,
it,
it's actually like a really bad situation, I
Yeah.
caught somebody doing it, and
Yeah,
I mean, it just is a double-edged sword. If we don't have a trash can out there, then we're gonna have trash on the ground, and when we put a trash can out there, the people who are camping on North Creston are gonna put their trash by the trash can.
Sure.
at least the.
But, I don't, we're not gonna fix that moral dilemma.
No.
But we could potentially get a quote from Eddie.
Yeah.
For an official quote, not from Brett, and see if we do have to put it out for bid, if we don't.
I think it's too small, I mean,
He charges, like
it's.
$15 a
He charges like $20.
Is that what he charges?
but maybe
Yeah.
we can have him go to
Like
each garbage.
I would love
for pickup,
Yeah.
right?
He said-
maybe even twice a week.
$60 a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Let's ask him what he would charge.
One issue is that if we start removing all the garbage really quickly, people are gonna be like, oh, now they're really
Yeah.
doing this, now they're really creating an opportunity for us to not have to pay the bills.
Issues bears. Yeah, if you had any container down there, the bears.
Yeah, so we should do that.
I think we could ask Ariel to ask Eddie for a quote. Is that appropriate?
Yeah, if he's, for that sprint, yes, he's already given.
Brett, what was the agreement with Eddie that you had?
Oh, Eddie, for the trash? So I just asked Eddie, if he volunteered, he said, I'll just do it for volunteer, I said, "No, we can pay you." I said, it's probably just gonna be for maybe a month until we find somebody, and I even gave him an application for employment. Did he return that in? No. So I even gave him, for public works, when you, that's if he wanted to apply, I don't know if he will or not, but, Jim said that, whatever, at the end of his 30 days, this is just a verbal agreement. That he would take the trash out and just go in the dumpster, get the dumpster keys. And that we would pay him just to make sure the trash,
Do you know how much it is?
how much do we want to pay him?
Well, I just think that, we should,
I pay him 35, I think, a month for my trash pickup at home.
I'm just wondering if we should do like a thing where he actually goes around and picks up trash at each of the things and then doesn't put it in our dumpster necessarily, but just takes it to the dump.
Well, I think we do have another trash can that's gonna be coming open soon, down the park down here. I'm sorry.
Pearl Park,
The one on the west side of town. Is that correct?
Creekside.
oh,
That's
Creekside,
Creekside.
Yeah.
I think there's some trash cans, and I got some trash cans
I saw that.
up there too, and I don't know where they go. So, and he did our trash at the fire department, so we can, yeah, we might just have, I mean, we have this dumpster, I don't know why, we probably need to utilize it.
That's waste management, right, that big dumpster,
Or Conley.
that belongs to them,
It's Conley.
Yeah, but I mean,
or pond.
but I mean, I think, yeah, I think it's a good contract, I mean, we pay for that dumpster, I believe, I'm assuming, we do, we have the key here. So they pick, I mean, yeah, we can have him gather up all the trash, if we want somebody to do that, I think he's totally willing to do that.
The question is, do we wanna put them in the dumpster, or do we wanna have them just pick up trash and
I
bring
think
it?
it's take it, it's,
I think it depends on whether or not that dumpster is getting filled up and if there's room for more. And if we asked him to just take the trash and take it, then we would pay him more,
Right, and
So- not cancel.
cancel the dumpster.
I think we would still probably fill that up.
Well, I have trash that I produce up at the water treatment plant, there's trash that's produced from Public Works, there's trash that's produced from Town Hall. I think even the tenants, so they also use that dumpster, so.
How often does Conley come and pick up that dumpster?
Once a week.
and empty it? Once a week? Is it usually full
It is
when they
today.
come to dump it? Okay, so if it's typically full when they come to empty it, then we would want Eddie to take
Yeah,
the trash to the dump.
so we're gonna ask Eddie to check a designated number of trash cans at least once a week, possibly twice a week, and we're gonna ask him to take that trash to the landfill. So we're gonna ask him how much he would charge for that.
So that we-
once a week and twice a
that
week.
we, are you right?
I believe it would be, Ariel.
Okay.
And then,
And do we have like a map or a list that we can give him so that he knows what locations we're talking about?
right now, there's only two, but there should be.
Let's just say 3 trash cans,
Okay, to do 3 trash cans once or twice a week.
to the landfill, not to the dumpster.
And if we can get that before the June meeting, then maybe we can just then approve to get him doing that.
Okay,
Sure. Are we going to respond
You
to
gotta
Lars?
watch what you're doing with budgets, because you have Conley and we budgeted for that one little thing. And if you're gonna have Eddie do something like pick up Public Works and the Public Works guy could just take it on his way home and dump it in the dumpster. Watch what you're adding, watch that you're adding a whole other.
I think-
we're not asking to pick up Public Works, just
just
Oh,
those
I
three.
agree. You're saying.
Picking up trash everywhere,
That
and
part.
like if it's picking up trash here, somebody here on the way out the door.
Well, that's
So
what I think.
you're
I think there should be the dumpster for all the people who dump their own trash,
We're just talking 3 trash cans. and-
3 trash cans in the parks,
That's it.
because they're the
Because
ones.
we have no
that-
public works person to go take the trash out of the park.
You have a public works person.
He's not public work.
Yeah, well, okay, in your budget, you have one public works person. It was gonna be the Miguel, or it was going to be Richard,
Right.
and that one person was going to be the supervisor and be in control of public
Well,
works.
we also have temp workers and we also had a public works
I didn't-
laborer. We also had temp workers and we also had a public works laborer at times. So I think if we, very small, correct.
But I'm just saying, watch, this is
So-
how it inches up and inches up.
Yeah, but
I guess
I don't think that we, but I don't think that we should, make, Brent be Public Works right now. He's doing some items like that Public Works has done, like, working on this water, the watering system and stuff like that, but he has a pretty full plate from what you're telling me, right?
Well, yeah, it's just getting compliant, yes, at the moment,
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
So that's,
We will
I
be
don't wanna
compliant
put
very
Public
soon.
Works on you.
But just my input, I don't think we need Eddie to be running anything to the dump. I think this dumpster is big enough to handle the park trash and all, and the town trash. And we just need somebody to empty the trash can so that.
And put the new bags in.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what I had to do, because we're probably, I think, we're accepting applications and we put in, we put an ad out for a public works person to do this. Eddie's just doing this until we hire a public works person, I don't think we need
Yeah,
to do
but-
anything extra other than what I've done.
That we spending more money than we already
And-
budget.
Yeah, and it's
And
$35
so,
right now, I
and
mean,
There was the people who
we
were
don't.
public works to do it.
Okay, so
But if we're gonna pay Eddie, then
Well, yeah, but
Then
what
we
you
do-
said to us is that we adding more.
let's
to
get
our
a quote for
budget.
him to empty the garbages into the trash, because nobody else is doing it right now.
So not to the landfill.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have a public works person in 30 days, and they can take care of it, and that's the end of the story. There's no, board doesn't need to do anything.
Good, is there a second on that motion?
There is no more.
Oh, was a motion, okay.
Are we gonna
so,
answer to-
as far as Laura, should we send him a reply?
Yeah, we working on it. He is welcome to pick it up and volunteer his time to township.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Okay.
thank you,
Uh,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for bringing it to our attention. We are
Sure.
taking steps to remediate the issue.
We'll be placing a trash can.
As soon as possible.
Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second,
Check.
No.
Yeah.
Who's you're first?
oh, first,
I was gonna say third. Second.
Okay. First, second, all in favor?
Uh,
Thank you, everybody.
you, appreciate it.
Brent, if you wanna talk for a second,
Yeah, I'd like to just talk.
but I mean, with me.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Elaine.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you guys sitting here and dealing with us. We had to cancel, we had to.
Yeah.
I was listening. I figured what happened.
It's not a good thing, but I will say that insulting each other won't help move it. forward. That's all I'm saying. Not that what you're saying.
Okay, I can lock up too.
We have some things to sign.
Oh, okay, I can, just, okay.
No, you can talk to him first.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
This is the whole.
Are gonna be here anyway.
Very much, alright. It's a long day.
And I-
Trying to shorten our.
And I hope that we can show that we do give a shit.
So I wanna apologize for. taking them so-
It will take time for me to get it all,
I'm hearing that.
my brain.
Well, that's when we're getting.
And I do appreciate
No, I'm all good.
Okay. You good?
Oh, I'm pissed.
You good? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like Brent can do whatever the fuck he wants. Whenever the fuck he wants to do it, but if I did any of those things, like, it's fine. I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm just really fucking frustrated, you know, that's why I said something, it's just like. If I wanted to go ahead and do things and I just talked to two board members and just did it, would that be okay? Or would that be, you know? Would there be a double standard there?
Yeah,
So I just kind of feel like I'm just gonna start doing whatever the fuck I wanna do and asking for forgiveness on the back end,
yeah.
instead of always worrying about policies and procedures and processes and things. In the same way he stormed in and yelled at Warren, it's the same way he comes in here and talks to me. And
It's not okay. It's not
I'm really
okay.
sorry, I'm crying.
No, dude,
Whenever I get really mad,
I
like,
had the same response when I get really mad.
so I'm just pissed. I'm just like, you know,
No, I could tell that you were like, it was not
I
safe
got a
of you.
lane. You know, coming in here and chastising me about stamps and the cost of stamps, but he can go subcontract things for out on his own and he can, you know, have invoices for repairs above $1,000 and, you know, I'm getting yelled at about stamps.
Yeah,
So
no, that's not right.
it's pretty frustrating.
Do, do we need to bring it up at the next meeting and get it on the agenda? Or is this like a staff meeting type deal that Benji needs to deal with, in your opinion?
I think I'm gonna talk to Benji
Okay,
first. I'm gonna try and collect myself and not cry, because, you know, I don't want anyone to say they're going to try to use my tears or anything. But I'm definitely gonna address it with him when he comes in here to sign these minutes.
okay, cool.
And then, I guess we can figure out where to go from there. I don't wanna make a big deal of it, because I don't want him to come fucking yell at me, or, you know. He's not, and he doesn't talk to me, or whatever, so.
It's not okay for him to be abusive towards his coworkers.
And this was like all I was warned about and all I was, you know, told about from the fire department and from people who had employed him before, that he was sexist and he was aggressive, and
Oh,
I
really?
tried to give him the benefit of the doubt and, you know, come into it fresh, but, you know, I'm just mad, like, are we following the rules or are we not? Because I could go rogue too. I'll just,
Totally.
I got the credit card, I can do whatever I want.
I mean, I think it is like a fair statement that if, you know, if you could have hired somebody to come and clean the office just on your own accord, then
I would have done it.
Yeah.
So I guess I just want clarification on. That.
yeah, absolutely. And, um, you know, I think, yeah, it's really inappropriate and we need to deal with it now. And any way that I can support you that you want to, like, always tell me.
I appreciate even this right here, just being able to talk about it for me is mad.
Yeah, dude, that's really fucking frustrating. And if he's like, if he's coming in here and talking to you like how he was just talking, which was also really inappropriate, and I, you know, Warren's difficult, but still inappropriate. Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah, when anyone tells me no, or that is agreement, that's the energy that is given back, and I don't get that from anyone else on the staff. That's not how I interact with Mateo, or Kim, or Sarah, or Gretchen. I just feel like everyone just tries to placate him all the time. I think that's cute. I could raise hell too,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but I won't.
right. He's definitely bringing the, you know, cis white dude energy into his interactions with people.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, thanks for listening to me. That helps. Just being like heard.
yeah, totally. And I don't, you know, like, I really don't want it to just like, I'm here to hear you, but also it's like, as a persistent problem, we need to do something about it. So I think, yeah, like if you talking to Benji sounds like a great first step, and if there's something that we need to do, then we should do it. And I think that it is very much like in Benji's role to address how he's treating the other staff. And hopefully in this conversation, tell it like it isn't appropriate for him to just hire Eddie and tell him to do things and tell him that we'll pay him, because
Just
that's
give
not
it
how we hire
to
people
the dumpster.
to the dumpster. Yeah,
Just give them,
yeah, that's not appropriate. That's not how we've been doing anything.
that's, yeah.
I mean, like
Whenever
getting
I
you an
try
office
to talk to
assistant
him
took
about it,
forever.
That's what I'm saying, and I try, and he's just like, well, I don't have time to wait for the board, and it's like, well, I have to always have to wait and wait and wait on anything I ask for, even a month sometimes, so.
And if he thinks something is so pertinent, then he can request for us to have a special meeting.
Yeah.
And then if we think it's that pertinent, then we can get together and make it happen, but no, like that. I'm
I know
hoping-
it sounds childish, but if he doesn't have to follow the rules, then I don't see why I have to.
No, I don't, I think that that's, there shouldn't be. I think that's fair. That's how I would feel too. That's how I would
Just to
feel.
put it very, very simply, if he doesn't have to, then why should anyone?
Why should anyone
else?
else? Yeah, yeah, and so if, you know, if we're gonna. And so then it comes down to, yeah, like what is our allowable etiquette, and. If we don't wanna fall into disarray, then we do have to, then following the procedure is what we need to do. And so we need to get him to follow the procedure. And maybe we do need to. If we have to, maybe we do need to bring that up at the next meeting, or maybe that's something, I don't know what the right procedure is, like,
I don't know.
If
a lot of
Benji
times he
needs
says,
to
like,
be-
where is the policy? And like, I don't know, and it's like, maybe it's something that needs to be written down.
yeah,
or Maybe it is written somewhere and I just don't know because there's so many things
that are
to keep
here,
track of.
yeah, totally. Maybe I'll look through my I'll look through my resource binder and see if see what, maybe there's something in there. But certainly, like,
Because if that's the case, I'm gonna get laptops for everyone in this office. I'm going to get them second monitors, you know.
Yeah.
like,
shit that we need.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna digitize the whole office. I mean, I'm just gonna stop asking and
Yeah.
just start doing. you
Yeah.
know. Everyone can be alerted on the back end that I've already done it and spent the money.
Yeah,
But, yeah, but we were trying to honor a budget and, you know.
I'm sorry, Ariel.
I'm sorry.
No. No.
I didn't want to, I was trying to fix my face, but I was also ready. Just fucking over it.
Yeah, totally. No, it's fucking lame, and, yeah, let's figure out how to,
And if he tells me one more time how busy I spend 12 to 14 hours a day working here, like, I'm gonna lose my shit.
yeah. Yeah, I don't, I mean, I
I
don't,
mean, like, even just today, I've been here 12 hours,
right,
you know,
right,
but he's so busy.
right, yeah, I mean, that's definitely like that type of mentality where like you're the busiest person in the whole world and everyone else is just like not doing shit is
Like, I'm
like,
just sitting here, just sticking my thumb up my ass all day.
right,
I know that's what everyone thinks, and I think that's fucking hilarious, like. My to-do list is 5 pages long, it's a fucking like binder full of shit to do, it's like. All of these things, all of this stuff, all of this stuff. And I'm not busy.
yeah, no, it looks like a proper fucking office in here, my friend.
Yeah. And
Like-
it was clean.
Like, that stack
each
of
week
binders?
there's more stuff to do.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, luckily not Sarah to fill it this time, but like emptying and filling it is ridiculous. So I appreciated our talk about like maybe an electronic source, and I can just like scan a PDF and send it to you guys.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, dude. No, I just like, I don't know exactly what the right method is, but like, I think we have to figure it out, and it really needs to be that, like, somebody needs to kind of set him straight. And I think that,
He just came in, he got the car, he just spent all the money he wants on whatever he wants, he just does whatever he wants, and that's fine. But I feel like the rest of us are held to a different standard.
yeah. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's either gotta be like Benji or Dennis one, and I don't know, I feel
And I
like
don't
maybe
think
Dennis is
that
part of
Dennis
this
is gonna
issue.
do it, because I think that he's the one encouraging him to just do, because whenever I try to tell him something about policy or procedure, he says, well, I cleared it with Dennis and or Benji, like, as if that's the whole board,
Yeah,
as if you all made a united decision as one,
yeah,
instead of everyone acting like sovereign. Yeah.
yeah, we gotta do something about this. And about the way that he's like treating people, because it's like unacceptable for him. If he's like, yeah, if he's talking to you like that, that's unacceptable.
Softness, and Sarah was scared, and she was like, you know, hovering behind him, waiting to like jump in to, you know, save me, and then pulled me aside to tell me she was sorry that I had to put up with that at work. When, you know, it's a disagreement, I don't feel like we have to swing
No.
about it. We could talk about it. We could take it to the board, which is what I did. And it was all about the water tonight. That's why it's on the, you know, that's why it was on the agenda.
Yeah,
'Cause I feel like if we can't agree about it, then
it needs to go,
you guys can give us the direction on.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and it's feeling really unfortunate in the sense that, I mean, that's like, that's just, I mean, that type of behavior is like an ingrained sense of entitlement. That
It
is,
doesn't matter what I say, that's the comfort of the man to be heard.
yeah,
I'm fucking sick of that. I'm just gonna have to keep, I literally have to like placate into him all the time. Fine. The manager to manage with different styles for everyone, that's what I consider it.
I mean,
But I mean, at this
You
point,
think
then I'm
that-
just gonna have a man talk to him.
Right.
That's the only way to hear it.
right. I mean, that's, yeah, that was why I was thinking like either Benji or Dennis, or maybe we should get Adam on there. Adam. But that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Mhm.
I mean, do you think that the other folks in the office also feel this way about their interactions with this person?
I know he's had stuff with Kim. I don't know, we all kind of just like look at each other like, but I'm also not trying to like, I don't want to shit talk another employee. And other
Totally,
employees, like, I don't believe in like poisoning. Oh, well,
yeah,
kind of thing, so that's not something I'm necessarily like encouraging conversation about, you know.
yeah.
But
When do y'all have staff meetings?
we're trying to have them Monday at 2. And that's been hard, right? Everyone to come at the same time.
Yeah. I think that if there is, if like everybody is feeling this way, then there needs to be some sort of like formal, whatever conversation with this person, that they're making all of their coworkers feel shitty, and that they need to work on how they communicate with their other coworkers, because it is certainly somewhere in our personnel handbook that we don't do that. But if we were gonna do that, I would wanna talk to everybody first.
I don't know if anyone's gonna do that, cause it's just gonna make waves
Right,
that nobody wants.
right.
But I feel you're right. I just don't know.
Yeah. Do you mind if I bring it up with Benji?
Sure. Okay. I mean, 'cause I'm gonna bring it up with it too.
Right.
Since he comes in here.
Right.
And be like, you thought he was bad.
Yeah,
I'm alright.
yeah. Okay, well, then if it's okay with you, then I'm gonna bring it up with him too. And talk to him about what we can do about it.
And I wouldn't speak if we are speaking on like him yelling at people, I wouldn't speak on for any of them.
Okay,
I would speak to them first, so that
Yeah.
you could get their feedback about it, that's not, you know, me.
Yeah.
Essentially,
totally.
but that's just my experience.
Okay.
What I see personally about him, this, like, it's going here and, well, me,
Sarah hasn't been here long
I
enough.
don't know
but
how
I'm
that's
sure.
for nothing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll
Well, he
definitely,
like Sarah, so just like for someone who's so busy, I'd see him just hang around her desk all the time. He did the same thing with me when I was sitting there. He just hangs out in his office, he rides around in the UTV all day, which also is money. And again, I got people hounding me for paying fucking water bill or whatever when
it's just,
that's happening.
yeah,
So I'm trying to understand where all this busyness is coming from when I just see him riding up and down the street probably all day, and riding to the hardware store, it's a fucking block away.
right,
Walk. If we're saving money here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive my car to the fucking post office every day and then claim mileage
Yeah.
to town, you know, and just walk. Oh, yeah.
I hear you, dude.
Thank you.
I hear you, dude.
That's all I wanna say. Fucking hurt.
I hear you, dude.
I
Okay.
appreciate you taking the time. You did.
Yeah. Oh. Thanks for all your hard work. I know you're not just sitting in here with your thumb up your ass.
Very good.
I
General consumption.
can believe it. Okay, I gotta go drive to Durango now.
Oh, God. You should have taken some of that black coffee.
Oh, dude, I would like shit my pants.
Drive safe. No, I'm mad.
You're mad
Yeah,
about?
I'm mad about like the perceived double standard that there is
Between-
here in this office between Brent and all the rest of us. I mean,
What's the,
I don't understand
So
why
let's-
he can subcontract whatever he wants.
no, that was a
and he
mess
can
up.
buy
That was a mess
what
up.
he
He made a
wants.
mistake.
Okay, cause I
I
just,
told him that. He knows better.
he did that with the
He
truck.
knows better.
He's done that before, and meanwhile, I've got Elaine like nitpicking me for
He
buying
wasn't-
stamps.
Oh, was she?
You know, yeah,
Oh,
she came in here and, you know, chastised me for sending out $0 bills because it wastes ink and it wastes paper and it wastes stamps. But I see Brent driving around on the UTV to go to the hardware store,
right.
to go to places that we can walk
Right.
to. And I'm getting,
Well, you can't get that. I mean, you need to actually be empowered to do what you need to do to make this office run. So feel, you know, if you need to, just so that was a mistake and he admitted it. And I specifically said, don't ever do that again.
I feel like I ask him all the time and to not, you know, do these things and say that we have to bring this to the board. And he's just like, well, I don't have time for that. And I just don't understand why I have to,
Bring things
you
to the
know,
board.
bring
Oh.
things to the board to get them done.
Well,
He
I
doesn't
it just,
feel
I
like he
think
needs
it
to.
depends on the level of what you're doing. Maybe he feels like he's getting permission from Dennis or something, like with the truck, I think.
So if
I
I
think
go
it
to
was-
Kizin and she gives me permission to do this or that, then I could just,
Well, I mean, like,
Do
it
that.
depends on what it is. If you, I mean, I think it just depends on what it is, because the truck was supposed to be fixed a long time ago. And the fact that he was able to do it was a pretty good.
I'm not saying he
pretty good
shouldn't be
thing,
able to do it. I'm just saying like, I feel like my hands are tied
So
in so
what,
many
what would,
ways.
what would make it better for you, like, honestly?
I don't know, just to know that like, we're all held to a similar standard. I mean, like, I'm also mad that like, you guys voted on no more raises until evaluations and then he got a raise immediately after that.
I don't even remember that
Now, I
exactly.
remember we talked about staff evaluations and there was this, you know, big talk about like, well, no more raises for anyone. And then the next thing I miss a meeting, come back and he's making the same as
Alright.
me when I've worked here longer.
Right.
And I hear that he's busy, but I'm putting in 12-hour days here, so, you know.
Sorry, I just. Well, we done?
Yeah,
See you
thanks,
guys.
Brent.
See you later. So I'm wondering where the fairness in that.
Yeah, so how do we make it fair? I mean, how do we do it? Honestly, because I mean, I think we can. We want to make it fair. You're doing a lot of work. You're working extremely hard. You're doing a great job.
I mean,
Everybody's happy with you.
his attitude too, the way he went in there and
That was not okay. And I
He's
told him
coming here
specifically.
and he's yelled at me. Like that.
Yeah,
He's
he can't
yelled
do
at
that.
Ken like that. How is that, conducive to?
Well, the
running-
thing is, like being in this position, we're all on this funny edge of learning through the process to deal with our emotions. And I just talked to him about that specifically. I said, it's not about what you're saying. It's the way you're saying it is extremely intense. You're using your emotions. And I said, it's not helping anybody. I told him that. I mean, I just literally laid it into him and he was like, okay, like I'm willing to work on that. So
That's
I mean,
good.
we really need to, it's all, my wife had, when I used to get mad at employees at the store, she would like literally say, like, it's not about what you're saying,
It's how you say it.
it's how you say
Like,
it.
I worked in that kind of dysfunction over at the pub. Wes would scream at everyone all the time,
Right.
like I don't
Yeah.
want to.
I know, and I told
Be
him
in that
specifically, I said, please do not overstep your boundaries, like, he like automatically wants to fill something, fill the void, and he's not the one to fill it, we need to fill it a different way. So, I wouldn't take him as seriously as, let him do his job, don't take him as seriously, take yourself seriously, because you are doing a great job, we need you. And if you want to raise, let's bring it up. Let's bring it up.
I was
As
just
soon as
gonna
we get
wait
this-
until I went to clerk school and then.
Well,
I
there's
would say
that,
it.
but also think about the budget is so close,
Yeah,
and we should, it's really hard to make decisions where you're like looking at things and we need a little bit of coaching to see, you have, you've spent this amount for this amount of time. I'm really hoping that things come out better than we thought.
I hope so too.
And
I
I
look at
need-
what Scott was making
Right.
and he was making $10 more than me. That feels like every job where I
terrible,
worked
yeah.
with a white man who was making way more than
Right.
me, but I was doing more or a better job. It's very like.
Right, but
deeply
he also
frustrating.
moved up too. That was when we ended that we got him up to that. And partly the reason that happened was because of
Was it Leslie?
Leslie. And, she just got fired from Pocos or Poncha Springs because of
Did she really?
the same thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So it's kind of a process of like, working your way up. And I know that you're taking a lot. And I was even going to suggest that we take the interim off and give you a raise, but I think it's not quite ready yet. I feel like, you're probably able to make a little in overtime,
Mhm.
which is fine. So you actually get a little raise that way
For sure,
for
but
working.
that involves a lot of
extra work,
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more hours. I don't know.
And
I
it's
mean,
fine. I'm not asking for a raise.
No,
I'm
I think
I'm just expressing how things are frustrating, how there's like perceived, double standard.
I agree. And I think that he's overstepped. I feel like he oversteps his boundaries a lot. And I think that today you made it clear that there's gotta be a different way.
Yeah, I just like, we're all held to the same standard, or like, I could go rogue too. I could just buy whatever I want anytime I want, Like, but I don't. I could come around and scream in the meetings, but like, I feel like I've tried to be very like.
Well, that was partly my fault, partly I'm getting a lot of pressure from IKEA. She sent me text today. She wants movement. So I got stuck in the middle of it. That's why I called them back. So I was like, you need to come in here and deal with this because I'm getting,
But the way he towered over Warren and yelled at Warren, Warren frustrates all of us. He calls me out on sunshine law things every single meeting.
right,
But I would never
right.
scream at Warren.
Sure. No, it's not really appropriate. He was claiming that, he's like, Warren's my friend, but I'm gonna, you know, I would sue him if if he says something liable about me, I'm like, just remove the emotions, please, like, just stop with the like,
Warren is just coming from a place of caring. He cares about town.
yeah, I
It
know he
might
does.
not
I
be the way
know.
that we want him to care about
I
it,
agree,
but
trust me.
he cares.
I fully agree. I don't think it was appropriate. I don't think it was right. I don't think that Brent should be at our meetings like that, you know, and it was partly my fault. I called him in during his dinner, but he's gotta check himself. Basically, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, you could talk to Dennis. Dennis, you know, if he keeps acting out like that, you know, Dennis is gonna get on him too, because Dennis knows that he can't come in that way.
I think you should,
Armando
what I've
knows,
heard
yeah.
from his previous employers
Mhm.
is that they all had a problem with insubordination and like aggressive behavior and like sexist behavior as well. He won't listen to me. He only listens to you and Dennis.
Mhm.
If I try to direct, like on the water schematic or anything,
Mhm.
he doesn't want to hear
Mhm.
me at all. And I'm
So
not,
we gotta have a strategy.
yeah. That's all I'm asking for is just, how do
Okay.
we?
Yeah.
Because
So-
I have a great staff, I just have one, like,
Hard, difficult.
yeah,
And you're always gonna have one. you know?
yeah, I've always had one.
Right.
Anytime I was managing.
So we need a strategy. We need a strategy. So I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, my strategy now, I'm thinking about with Gretchen. I'm thinking a letter. Like,
Send her a letter in the mail.
that's all we can do with the paycheck. If there is a paycheck, we have to check on that.
There should be a paycheck, and then I know Elaine said that we don't pay out vacation, but we did that for Scott. So why wouldn't you do that for Gretchen? When
Do you
she's
have
been
the, you
here
have the
for,
amount?
in her vacation hours?
Yeah. And
No,
does
but it
it's-
should be in QuickBooks.
Okay.
So I
Well, we
don't know,
kinda
I
have to,
caution
yeah.
you to not do
Do one
that,
thing for one person.
because she could turn around and say, well, it was done. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to not have more people quit
I
and
totally-
claim,
right.
you know, an
Right,
unsafe
unemployment.
workspace, you know?
I know it's a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
but we do need to
It's a
prepare, however.
pain, it's gonna, yeah, for sure, and I'm not saying like it won't ever happen, it's just, you know,
I mean, she might claim it no
we
matter
just have
what.
to have like a different culture here
Mhm.
between the board and the staff and
Mhm.
how
So-
people leave
Right.
here. you
So
know?
how do we create that? I mean, honestly, it's a creation process. It's not a,
I feel
not
like
gonna-
maybe we should spend more time together as a
Mhm.
whole, because like, there's this like us versus them,
you think so?
aside from
Huh.
like our individual,
Hmm.
you know.
You mean when we get into the meeting, it
Experiences.
feels us versus them, us, you mean board versus staff or?
Mhm.
Huh.
I feel like, you know, I feel like Dennis is against me all the
Hmm.
time. He don't want me to be a town clerk. There's people with less experience than me who are town clerk right
Mhm.
off the bat.
Sure,
It doesn't come with, you don't go to clerk school and then become a clerk.
right,
You become a clerk and then
And
maybe
learn,
you
yeah.
go to clerk school
right.
afterwards, maybe, you know? So maybe if we were all like more human
Yeah.
together,
Hmm.
that
So
might make a
maybe the
difference.
party is a good
Yeah,
idea.
maybe like just
How do we do it? Let's do it. I mean, I'm
Well,
open. I'm totally open.
My
I love
other
it.
issue
Yeah.
is like, we don't have HR. So what
Right.
do we do? And we have these things in English. I mean, I had Dennis tell me that he wants to punch Kyrena in the throat.
Hmm.
That was something that's deeply upsetting to me. Is that
Hmm.
how he deals with women? Is that how he deals with people who disagree?
Hmm.
And I don't have anyone to report those kind of things to
Hmm.
when they happen. So what's the how do we resolve that as well? I'm
Well, there-
sure I'm not the only one.
I know
And
that.
maybe that's why people are claiming an unsafe workspace,
Mhm.
you know? Sorry, I just,
No, it's okay.
it's because I'm mad, I'm not.
It's okay, it's okay. I will. I can handle crying.
I'm sorry.
You can cry. It feels good to
Just
cry.
mad. So, yeah, you know.
I mean, don't you think that like through, I mean, you're kind of empowered now on some level to be the clerk. You know, and you know that. So there's empowerment. So now it's like time to start figuring out how to communicate that empowerment. However it is, you know, I mean, it's gotta be somewhat empathetic to other people's situations because like Dennis was a Marine, you know, he did fight in a battle. I'm pretty sure he's
I don't
definitely
hate
down.
Dennis,
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, that
Yeah.
was something that was really inappropriate. to
No, it
say
is
to
totally,
a staff
it's totally
person,
inappropriate.
Or into a woman, for
Right.
that matter, you know?
Totally.
Like,
And I'm sure he was exaggerating. I'm sure he would say, I'm really sorry that I said that. I was angry or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to deal with it. I really don't. I want, in my opinion, like, we're really, and we've talked about this before, we're really starting from the ground up. And
that's why I ask these questions and I bring them to you.
no,
because
I appreciate it.
I don't know how to proceed, like, are these the things I should say in my clerk's report, or, are these things that I should say to you? when we
Well,
are
I
talking
think,
about-
it's the best way I can think of it is to say it to me. I'll take notes on certain things and then I will meet with each individual trustee. And I'm already starting. I met with Armando today. I met with Dana today. And I will work with each one to try to make a better culture that feels better in this place. Like I just talked to Brent and I felt like I made a mark right there. I mean, only because I don't know what it is. I just saw that he's just too emotional. And I just told him, I said, you gotta get your ego and emotions out of the way, dude. Like, it's not all about you.
For sure. It's like all 14,
And I'll keep doing that.
12 of us.
I'll keep saying it if I have to. So maybe you and I need to, I'll sit down, I'll get it clear and I'll talk to each individual trustee, because that's the only way I can do it, unless we do it in a meeting in public, but it's better in some level.
We handle things.
We handle
internally.
things individually and all. I mean, the POA had big problems. I don't know. No, I mean, they had huge issues with their, a lot of
Did you wanna sit
insubordination.
down and-
A lot of insubordination in with the chief of the fire department. They actually called in a contract human resource. They contracted out and listened to each individual and everybody had to state, they all had to go in and sit down and talk and go through it. And then basically the human resource person summed it up and then figured out the problem, but Jim's still there. I mean, it's weird. He's still the chief. So something shifted.
Yeah.
I mean, then they had a whole law thing where they might not even be like, they've been loaning out their truck, not loaning, renting out their truck to other fire areas, basically, like to the feds. They drive out, and that all could be illegal because they're not using it for protection of their own thing. They're kind of just trying to get money from it.
Mhm.
So there's a whole thing with that, and like so much stuff is being opened and revealed after 20 years or whatever. So I mean, what we're dealing with is kind of like fixable, and we can actually,
For sure.
I think we can actually fix it. So
Without.
your
contracting
boundaries
or
are
charging.
really important. Yeah, your boundaries are really important, and I need you to keep, without getting angry, just keep maintaining those boundaries with Brent. If you have to say on the door, like, no access, without permission or something like that, you just do that. Because he's got his own office. He doesn't need to come in here.
No, he doesn't, and that's where I get mad too. He keeps telling me how busy he is, but he's hanging out in front of Sarah's desk. He did it when I was there.
I
He's
was there, so.
driving around
Yeah.
in the UTV. I mean, Enid complained that she just hears him driving up and down the street all the time. Like,
So, I mean,
how
Yeah.
busy are you if you're spending time?
I know he comes over to my place and, I mean, he tries to talk, he has a way of schmoozing, I would say. We can't worry about it too much, but what we can do is
That's
like
fine.
you tell your person that you work with that is directly under you that, this is how it's gonna be. And, she has to tell him to go.
Yeah.
Things like that,
Yeah, no, I
So-
can keep holding boundaries. It's just, it's also exhausting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's gonna be exhausting as we emerge from the hole,
Mhm.
And dig ourselves back out. And, you came into a very awesome yet tough situation. I mean, look at us. We're 4 young people now running this, 5 young people running this town. We have older elders that are kind of trying to direct us.
Yeah.
But I mean, how cool is that? Like that we can do that. We've literally shifted it. I mean, I'm like shocked a little bit at the way it's gone.
Yeah.
That we've
it has
shifted it
been
that way.
A good.
Is that
Since
wild?
the new board, yeah.
But you're bound to have have learning
yeah.
experiences. And this is all part of the learning experience. It
For
really
sure.
is. And you gotta demand, like, I don't care. Like, when we get this budget worked out and we see where we're at, you know, I have a feeling that we might be better than we are, but I don't know. And if we are, you should say, I'm working really hard for this town and I'll push, I'll vouch for you to each individual member. And
I
say,
appreciate
we
that,
need to
and I
make sure.
appreciate you hearing me, because that's
Well,
really all I needed to, was just like. To be heard.
I'm sorry, it's, 9 o'clock at night.
I am too, I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to.
But you
keep
know
you
what?
here.
This is, hopefully, so do I initial?
You can start,
It's like, cool.
one of our first minutes. And we did do the January one.
Thank you for getting these done. It's so awesome. Oh,
Oh, god damn it,
just one page.
is it on all of them?
Let me check. So
That
it's
was
number
the February
6,
12th.
Page 6 of the first one, February 12th. Yep, it's on all of them. 6, page 6 on the next one. Then it's mine. The next one's mine. Wait, but in actuality, does it? Yeah, I guess I have to do it. And the next one's good. And the next one is good. So just 2.
Just the first two.
I really liked your idea about making this thing more digitalized. However, we're gonna do that. I do think paper is somewhat important for certain things.
I do too, I
So
feel
we
like
just gotta
a
find out where
lot
the-
of our things could be digital.
I'm gonna start moving that way, so you could probably stop printing for me.
Okay,
I like using my iPad, it's easy, clear. You can- Oh, you don't have to, oh, I see.
oh, I just print the last page.
Yeah.
Duh, sorry.
It's okay. Paper.
Yeah, for sure.
It's okay. That was from my.
Is this the?
That's the first one. That's 12.
Oh, okay,
12, so I was just gonna take that one out and put this one in.
okay.
Want to see something?
When did you sign the other ones?
I'll sign those other ones, but we have one more that we have to do. What's your name? Right. I wanted to show you something kind of funny. So IKEA was like, remember when I read that thing that was already, so this is back in 2009. Look at the minutes. Warren's in there. It's really funny. This is back in 2009. This is the bid when we put the water system in. And look at how they,
Oh my gosh. I wonder she had this.
I can send you this just so you have it. But it's just hilarious, but this is what she's going on with that. Basically, she's trying to say that we bid, that because we bid with them before, that now we're gonna just carry it over.
Is that how it works?
No, I'm gonna look, but I don't think so. Okay. Wait a second. Oh, so this one's now ripped up?
Is that the one
That's the old one.
Yeah. And then you'll sign.
Ah, well, sure, but-
You can keep using that one.
Oh.
Keep signing. I grabbed it.
Another reason not to keep on pens for paper.
Yep.
Okay, then this one. Is that this one?
I showed that one too. Back of this.
Yeah, these are all good. It's done. Like, same thing with Elaine, she cares about this town really deeply, and I feel like, she has. I mean, we had a really good meeting today.
Yeah, I thought that was like really productive.
I mean, even her and I, but.
Oh, when you met in
That-
earlier?
Yeah, and then it carried over to our other meeting. Cause I had a lot of the information from her.
Yeah.
But she, I mean, she came in like, Gretchen, like, you know, like I heard this, she heard some rumors that, you know,
What have
she
you
told,
heard?
she heard from, Joe Buckley that Gretchen was just gonna ride it out and Elizabeth fired her and, so,
Yeah, no,
and then she's
yeah,
probably gonna file for unemployment, but we could say that she's, we know she's working there, so she doesn't get a,
get unemployment,
I mean,
Like
good,
Scott.
it's like Scott,
yeah.
I mean. So, I know that you don't, I know you were friends with her,
I mean, I still am friends with her,
Yeah, so
but
maybe-
like, we're also at the point too where like, I. We need public works to happen, you can't just
Right.
not have public works for weeks and,
Yeah.
you know, like. I tried and tried and tried to encourage her to just come and talk to you guys, like if she had all of this anger and all of this resentment. And I said, just bring that to them, just talk to them, just have the open conversation, you know, I said that over and over and over again, she was just like. There's not enough time in the world, I said, write it down, then she said, there's not enough pages to put it all down, you know, like. I feel like I did everything I could, I really tried.
so I'll write a letter, email it to you. You can go tell me what, you know, change it anyway, and then we'll just start a little dialogue back and forth
And then we'll just get her check processed tomorrow.
tomorrow, and then. I mean, I gotta go to Tuss tomorrow, but I can write it tonight. Honestly.
That's right, yeah. I mean, if you wanna do it on Friday too, I'm gonna be around here, cause I'm gonna be steam cleaning.
Right.
And
So I mean, we could. So get her the check, and then we have 24 hours, you know, we don't have to like absolutely rush it,
yeah,
it's already in the minutes, it's done.
yeah, just if you wanna give yourself more time
Yeah.
to like write the thing, I could talk to Kim about processing the check tomorrow.
Yes, please.
And then
Okay.
whenever you get the rest to me, then you can have, you know, Sarah or whoever, or I can put it in the mail and, you know, send that to her.
Okay.
And then,
Perfect, I like that.
I'll talk to Allison about how we, like, if there is more policy or procedure about like
One thing,
closing out an employee.
yeah, one thing that she's just said, I mean, that Elaine told me was that she has like a notebook and then she tracks some of the dates, like the date that she stopped coming in. The
Which
date
I'm
she
pretty
missed
sure-
those 2 meetings that we
Like, I'm
asked.
pretty sure we were on the week 3 of her not coming in. I thought she stopped coming in.
Is anything that you have, kind of like how we did it with the election thing?
I thought she stopped coming in around here, like on the 13th, like this week.
Will you?
Yes, because we talked about it in that meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, we had, well, we asked her to come to the executive session,
Yeah,
so that email can. Will you print out
anything.
anything?
I feel you like the election dispute stuff.
Exactly,
And just have a folder, just. add
and
that
I'll
to
write the
file.
letter, and then we'll put that in, because I'm just gonna say, basically, you know. We've decided as a board that because you have not shown up to your work.
Yeah, so
for-
actually, it's been longer than 3
Yeah,
weeks. It's been like 3.5
Totally.
to 4.
Yeah, just maybe even the meeting, the executive session. And just figure it out,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And
Thank
all
you,
that
thank
stuff,
you.
for sure.
And that way, we're just ready.
Still wanna be friends with her, but.
I know, but you know what? Plenty of friends that you have like, a time lag before, you know, I have so many, I mean, Lars and I, we used to be friends, I used to go over to his house and hang out with him. And he gave me really good advice a lot, and then we just had this huge falling out, and it's just, and it's also kind of based on, you know, you gave her plenty of good friendly advice, and if she's not willing to accept it, then,
That's where I'm kind of at with it.
Yeah.
It's like, we just have to separate like business from friendship, and I advised on both, and
Right.
now I'm not gonna advise.
Right. and it'll come back one day, you'll be like, she'll probably thank you, you know, and say, I'm sorry, because in actuality, it's really on her, it's not on you. You did your best,
Yeah.
come on. I mean, I'm just so grateful, I really am, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and just like, working with you. I am really grateful. And,
Me too,
you
I've
know,
been really enjoying working with you and with Kim and, you know.
Yeah. I don't love
Everyone
working with
here.
Brent. I knew,
Yeah.
I had a feeling this was gonna happen,
I knew it was gonna happen, it was just like,
but I also was
oh my
like,
God, there.
I'm also like thinking to myself, Brent needs to work on Brent, you know, and it's a perfect opportunity for him to work on himself. So we just allow him to learn and.
For sure, because I don't like, I think Brent is cool. When we're outside here,
Yeah.
we talk about dogs and
Sure.
whatever, and it's all great. It's just like whenever there's a disagreement, it's the way he disagrees.
Sure. Right, right.
Yeah.
So let's just start the boundary thing with him
Yeah.
and just, you know, if he doesn't abide by it, I want you to write it down. And then I can have dates or, you know,
Yeah.
just have like a little thing, kind of like what, I like that idea, have like a notebook on, I mean, you're not really his boss, but
Yeah.
you know, just infractions per se, human resource infractions. And then I will have I have no problem sitting down with him and telling him what's going on.
Okay.
So just keep tabs. Does that work? Is that a good?
For sure.
Give him a solution.
Yeah.
And then with each member of the board as well.
Mhm.
I'll be your middle person so that you feel like you're being heard.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
'Cause I want this to work. I don't want
I
to
do too. I
go
really
through any more like transition.
staff turnover. That's why I just like, and I don't have all the answers, but that's why I want to work on the culture too. It's like this place like where we retain people and they're happy to come to work and they enjoy it and they, you know, when you have that sense of loyalty, like
Mhm.
I've managed people before who would like move mountains. And it was
Cool.
like for me,
Right.
because they liked working for me, and that's what I want
Yes,
here.
I love it.
Too.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's just so ripe and it's just in this little seed stage right now.
For sure, we're just
Yeah.
like in our infancy.
Yeah, and it could be 20 years and we're all like, you know, getting grant, we're doing all sorts of things. And it's not just like you're getting paid, you know, a small amount, like now we've actually expanded because we found more revenue sources or we've, you know, actually turned into something, you know, more than this kind of like, oh, the sales tax.
Yeah, it is like for sure. Allison put it in a good way. She's like, can we get out of this like reactive state and then we can be like proactive. And then we just stop putting out fires and actually like,
Totally.
you know, be ahead of things. And,
There's so much. I mean, we have everything we need.
yeah,
We just, you know, I don't know what it is that got us to slip, but we can't keep slipping.
can't slip again.
Yeah, we gotta keep, I mean, even Elaine said it, you know, she's like, it's so fragile. It's
Yeah, it's just like a
so
baby.
fragile.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay.
All right. Well,
You have anything else you need me to do?
oh, actually, I
Yeah.
think there was one more thing I need to sign. But
I mean, we're definitely getting out of 18 years. 18 years. Irina was here. Look, he wasn't even mayor in 2009. It was Ralph Abrams that was mayor.
Ralph Abrams, I haven't met.
No? Do you know Noah Abrams?
Yeah.
Son Noah?
He plays. Does he play music?
No, he's an excellent builder. He's such a ladies guy. I mean, like he's just like, he's got, I don't know, he used to live here and just like every girl, you know, he had to just go through and then
There is a small dating pool here. I'm glad I came.
yeah, you did right. Let me tell you, jeez.
You are the designated agent on here, so you actually have to sign
Okay,
all of these, and then I'll get them to Julie.
okay.
I wasn't sure that last time when you came, but then I talked to her and she clarified.
No problem. Good, we're getting it worked out. The Black's Law Dictionary, there's there's a mayor S. It's the wife of the mayor. Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, 320.
Do you change your signature at all?
No,
over
I
here?
try not to, but, it
It's
just
like-
changed date.
is it weird,
completely.
like-
What date is it?
It's the 29th.
5/29?
Mhm. I was like, is everyone gonna know my signature now? So like, I don't know,
Yeah, you should just,
steal my,
Create-
the open things in my name. I've had that happen before too. But it wasn't
Oh.
my signature, it was like my social.
Hmm.
Someone like bought a house in my name.
when you send out stuff, you can blank it out. If your signature's on it,
Really?
why not?
No,
But then it shows it's signed, but it's not.
I just like slightly changed my signature.
I'm saying when you're, if you like send out to the public.
Mhm.
That's funny.
I know Allison has some tips for being a clerk. She was like, you should start parking elsewhere, because when people know you're here,
Well, that's good.
they like call and knock on
Yeah,
the
you can
door.
park over at our place, or right over here.
Yeah, she was saying that she parked at the post office
Yeah.
all the time and walked over.
Oh, I like
And was
that.
like,
She's smart.
that's funny. She is smart. I like her a
I
lot.
like that. I felt bad I wasn't at her party.
When was her party? Oh, when she
After.
left town.
Yeah, I don't remember why I couldn't come. I was just like, and then I think she felt like I was mad at her,
Oh,
and I was like, and then I just like, I can't do this for Karina, we have to do something for Karina.
for sure. And if you want to do it around dark sky, like Sarah said,
I like
that's
that idea.
a good idea.
That's a perfect time to do it. It is, there's something going
Oh,
on now.
will you be seeing Allison anytime? Because I just seen her. I sent this to her. I thought maybe she would bring it back, but if I could just get her signature on this one. If you're gonna see her to talk.
Oh,
about
Allison,
this at all,
when are we doing this?
or if you could send her.
Can I
to
leave it,
me.
can I leave it somewhere where I can pick it up cause maybe on the,
Mhm.
I can put it in my file.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
For sure.
Um,
And then these
Absolutely.
other ones are for other people.
maybe a little folder, and I'll keep it on
Oh,
the
yeah.
desk.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Is this the only one she needs to sign? Yeah.
So your mom's going?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's fine.
You and your mom are close.
Pretty close. My wife and her don't get along that well.
Well, that can happen sometimes.
Yes,
They don't get along when Keith's gone. She just said a lot of racist things to me. I was just
really?
like,
Oh, that's true.
and she wasn't trying to be mean
She just,
in her racism,
Right.
but
it's like built into her.
it's still problematic,
Oh. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, my wife is more around like health and stuff, like my mom was like, with the vaccine,
Mm.
like, I don't know how you feel about it, but it doesn't matter, but
I was just of the mindset that everyone do whatever the fuck they wanted about it, and I was gonna do what I was gonna do.
Sure.
That was get vaccinated.
But my wife, my mom said to my wife, like, this is gonna break our relationship, basically, and, and then there's just a bunch of shit like that, and, like, what would it take to talk you into getting it, and,
Oh, no.
just all this stuff, she said that, my mom said
That's
stuff like, people who aren't vaccinated should go to jail. Stuff like that, and
I could
to
see
my
why
wife,
that would upset.
yeah,
people.
and so my Michelle does not forget. She forgives, but she does not forget.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
roll too.
So, and it's
Yeah.
funny because sometimes she doesn't forgive either. But,
I do try to forgive, but I will never forget.
yeah,
Like when someone shows you their colors, it's kind of like you can't unsee that in my mind.
I mean, I was really lucky that I grew up in Evanston, where we were just like, it was a big mixed bag of people, everybody from poor to rich to black, white,
Yeah.
Indian, Mexican, Asian.
Sure.
I mean, everybody, and we had, he loved everybody, because that was like, it was all about people and getting along with people, and
Mhm.
so it's like, and everybody says that, you know, I was so glad in the group, and I'm just happy I left, you know?
No,
Right.
his mine wasn't ever, it was things like, I can't wait to have a black grandchild.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
then I'll be special.
Oh,
like-
wow.
Will you? Or, like, any child I have isn't an accessory to
Yeah.
make you look cool, like.
Oh, my gosh.
Or just
That's
like,
pretty weird.
she gets controlling and
Huh.
she would be weirdly codependent with him and
Huh.
always using him as like a whipping boy, like everything is Keith's fault, even if Keith has nothing to do with it.
Oh,
So,
poor Keith.
yeah, and
Poor
like,
you, I mean, Keith.
I'm the kind of like warrior family member who's like, you're not gonna treat him like
Yeah.
that. Like, I don't know why he's allowing it, but like, you're not gonna come to my house and do that, like, fuck right off with that energy, Poor
Yeah,
Keith.
it's a,
So I tried to,
you know,
Yeah,
our
he
whole
doesn't have-
our whole culture is really screwed up. So it's just a, you know, my mom too is just like kind of a projection of that fucked up culture of MSNBC, or,
oh
you know,
yeah,
she's sitting in front of the TV,
I'm just like,
hearing, you know,
totally, and then. That,
like, you know, if you don't get it,